episode doesn't work, apparently. There we go. We're back at it for more Middle Earth. We're jumping back into the Lesser Rings for episode 24, The Bones of the North.
Ooh, I like that
Not
title.
sure how I feel about that title, considering where we're heading, but it'll probably be fine.
Yeah,
Kevin surely wouldn't
North
try to
Bonin.
kill us like a fourth session in a row, right?
I can try my best.
We all learned how to play our characters in the 6 months that we've been gone, and we're ready to play without Kevin having to tell us how to play our characters, right, guys?
Some of us knew how to play their characters already.
Listen, I was happy with 50% of you.
That's very strange because you're happy with 2 of us. Never mind. I was like, there's
Yes.
5 of us here, and I was like, oh wait, Kevin's one.
Kevin knows how to play all of our characters, so
Well, he has to.
Better than we do, apparently.
What if Kevin counted himself in that 50%?
Anyways, it is all yours, Kevin. I'm ready for some Middle Earth, and yeah, let's get going.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good to be back. Obviously, life has happened recently with Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you all had a very good time, and looking forward to the new year. Let's continue on with our adventures with our small company and fellowship here. When we left off, the company was recovering from the wolf and warg attack just south of Weathertop on the road heading east towards Weathertop to seek out the rangers. One ranger in particular, Halberad, Damrod's father. That's where he was heading to after the encounter with the wolves and wargs. Rescued, thankfully, by the rangers, the 2 young rangers stationed near Weathertop in the Ranger Sanctuary. The company retired to the sanctuary itself to recover and rest up. There, they had to mull over the situation of Halberad not being here and Halberad making his way recently to the North Downs to see the old ranger there. The company obviously determined to speak to Halberad about a lead that they had got on Aurelion's father's ring, began to make their journey led by Damrod along the west side of the Weathered Hills, following the old Ranger Trail, a trail built by the Dunedain of the North long ago during their battles with Angmar and Rudauer. Damrod began to lead them off. They have also been given a missive by the 2 young rangers, Riordal and Solus, to deliver to the rangers at the north end that camps and fires have been seen out on the plains to the northeast of the Weathered Hills. Perhaps the hillmen have come down once more and beginning to gather again. And so we will pick up on the trail. You've probably been travelling for a day or so now along the secret trails in the foothills of the Weathered Hills, with Damrod leading the way, confidently this time. Hopefully much better prepared with means to make a fire and a new bow in hand. And anything else that he could think of as a ranger that may help along this trail. Why don't we all pick back up with just a little introduction to the characters again. It's been a while. Not only that, I believe, Nathan, you have managed to upload all the episodes onto YouTube so far. So, leading with our guide, Damrod, why don't you just talk to us about Damrod, his goals, his motivations, what he looks like, before we move on.
Yes, all the videos are currently up on YouTube, and they are all public finally. Basically everything on YouTube's caught up. I got a couple more videos that Damrod and I have done of eco that need to go up, but other than that, we're pretty much caught up on YouTube. Damrod is a ranger. He's kind of sort of a pretty typical ranger. Um, when we played the prologue, I played Aragorn or a version of Aragorn, and I liked the feeling of that character. So, um, that's kind of what I wanted to play again. Something kind of similar. Um, it's it definitely started out very much trying to go down the Aragorn route as far as like temperament and style and stuff. But I feel like Damrod's kind of wandered off that path a little bit, and he's become, I guess, kind of his own character. His idol is definitely Aragorn. He just strives to be something at least that is similar or kind of follow in those footsteps. He is the son of Hollaback Etcha, which Nate played in the prequels. Um, yeah, that was a lot of fun playing the prologues, and basically Damrod's big two he has two main goals, I guess. For personal goals, one is to find Dunedain lore and history and artifacts and stuff, and try to bring some kind of um like knowledge and like, I don't want to say respect. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but knowledge and just history back, and bring it back into light so that more is known about the Dunedain, more artifacts. So we have more historical artifacts and things like that. Um, but he's also a hunter of the shadow. So he is very much fixated on ridding the world of whatever shadow he can in the process of both his quest for Dunedain history and helping the Fellowship here.
And we would pick up with Damrod confidently leading the group in and out of the foothills of the Weathered Hills. There are tall rocks and stones that are on the left-hand side, which is the western side as they travel north, that shelter from prying eyes that may be lower down and near the Midgewater Marsh. And ahead of Damrod, skipping lightly down the path, able to pounce quite nimbly from stone to stone. Scouting ahead, I believe, is our woodland elf, Rook, whose real name is Mablung, but he likes to go by Rook. So, Charlie, why don't you just introduce your character, his motivations, what his thoughts are at the moment in time?
I mean, pretty traditional elf. He grew up in Mirkwood. He's naturally curious. He was brought from Mirkwood to Rivendell to meet with his cousin Aurelion and help him with his quest. He's naturally playful. He's always trying to get people to laugh, especially his cousin who's always brooding. Motivations, I mean, he's never really been outside the Elven lands by himself up until this point. So he has seen horrors, and he has seen happiness, and he has seen all the things that he never thought he would see, all sometimes all in one day. So really, he's just happy to be out and assisting a member of his actual blood family.
Rook's keen eyes and natural stealthing ability allows him to pick his way, or find a path ahead of the group, making travel much easier. However, I imagine Rook will quite often look back over his shoulder at his cousin, Aurelion. Ray, do you want to introduce Aurelion?
Sure. Aurelian is the son of Talvin, who he isn't a woodland elf. He's actually one of the Noldor, um, and he came from Eregion originally. He didn't quite know much about Eregion until the prologue, where, well, he knew of it. He didn't know like firsthand what it was like. He used to be this. He used to be a lot like Rook. He was a troublemaker, but since he left Eregion recently, he's been kind of having this chip on his shoulder, this darkness hanging over him, and right now he is currently seeking a ring that his father made. And yeah, like how Charlie described, he's pretty gloomy. He's pretty gloomy about most things. So despite Rook like maybe trying to make things better, Aurelian's not really having much of it, especially because last session they kind of came to blows with how they've been feeling lately.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. By the way, I was thinking about it. An elf fight in Lord of the Rings has got to be the most boring thing that anyone has ever seen. Because it's so nothing. Like they're probably just pulling each other's hair and that's it.
I was not pulling hair.
Yeah, I mean, it was so like first era, first age.
We haven't advanced much since then as a people.
You are slow to mature, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the final member of our company, perhaps bringing up the rear, perhaps dragging his feet somewhat, maybe a little bit quieter than what he has been until recently, after the recent events, is our Bjorning from across the mountains, Maracar.
Yes. So, yeah, Maracar is kind of in. Yeah, he's bringing up the butt. Yeah, Maracar is the fun-loving idiot of the group. But these days he's in a little bit of a funk. Some may say a depression of sorts.
Some may say.
Probably any medical professional would probably look at him and be like, "Bro, you need to see a therapist right now."
Yeah. My medical diagnosis is bruh.
Bruh. Yeah, so Maracar is generally the fun-loving idiot. He recently had his first encounter with death. He is a young guy. I think he just turned 20 over the last break that we had. So he's still young. He's still kind of learning the world. And the last encounter that they had with the wargs kind of reminded him in a sense that he is just as mortal as any other human around, and his time can happen at any point, and that's kind of bothering him. So he has developed. He is a slayer also, so a barbarian in this world here. So he has manifested his his rage into kind of a little subconscious devil on his shoulder, who is trying to rewire his brain and his outlook in life, telling him, how this entity that he's manifested, who is his wrath, is trying to steer him in the right direction, in the sense of saying, listen, now that you have me around, things are going to go all right. Make sure you don't trust as many people as you do. Make sure you listen to me, and when it's time to rage, just hold on to me, and I'll make sure you stay alive like I did last time. So he's battling his own little demons these days, and we are seeing, I don't know where that's going for him. So I'm excited to learn about this manifestation as much as anyone else.
Yeah, excellent. Again, they're probably a couple of days out from the sanctuary near Weathertop. as the group make their way north. I've just moved everybody onto the map. Damrod, why don't you start us off with a survival check? See how well you are navigating the hills from this point onwards. It may be that you've not travelled these paths much yourself.
Oh, this is a new map.
New map, indeed.
Yeah.
Moving up in the world.
I think I know where I'm going.
Finally.
You have indeed travelled these paths before. Perhaps
No,
you've
I
even...
haven't. That's why I know where I'm going. Because I haven't traveled them and gotten confused.
Congratulations on your first survival roll over a 10, by the way.
Oof, thanks, Ranger.
You know,
glad
I'm
we
getting
have you
better.
around.
Getting better.
Indeed, as you look out to your west, you can see the Midgewater Marsh. Not only that, you can quite accurately pinpoint from your location whereabouts the Black Barrow is located.
Oh wow, we're up high.
We are up high. You can't quite see it. There's almost a haze that hangs over the Midgewater Marsh, or it may be just clouds of midges, as Aurelion and Rook both found to their discomfort.
Stupid things.
Actually, I didn't. I had some stuff for me. I didn't get attacked by the midges.
Are the midges wrestling? I'm sorry. I'll see myself out.
Nathan, everyone. We're glad to have him.
It's
Rook.
stage left even.
Maracar, was you our lookout?
Probably.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, give me a perception check then.
I mean, he's probably not doing his job. I don't know if that.
I was gonna say, you're
that
like
makes any
Maracar.
Okay.
Got 19. Yeah.
Rook, give me a stealth check, as you have maybe somewhat, just a little bit ahead of the rest of the group. Excellent work. So, Rook, you progress on down the path, going off Damrod's suggestions. Maracar lost in thought still. You don't notice that the group is, well, Damrod, Maracar, and Aurelion. The three of you all of a sudden have bows drawn and pointed at your direction. There's maybe 5 or 6 surrounding you at this point. What are your reactions?
I think Maracar, given kind of how I'm doing this here, I think Maracar would just keep on walking.
Well, did Maracar notice?
I mean, he would notice eventually, as there's probably, like I said, 6 hooded, cloaked figures who appear amongst the stones and boulders, in front, above, behind, bows drawn.
When Maracar stops walking, if he gets if everyone else stops, Maracar would stop maybe 20 or 30 feet in front of everyone else behind him. So he'd keep walking because he's coming up the rear. He would kind of walk past everybody that's kind of around. So I guess more so, Damrod and Aurelion. And then he'd stop like maybe 30 feet in front of him if he noticed that they all stopped, and then he'd look around.
Yeah, as you're passing Damrod, he's probably he has one hand probably up, and the other kind of on the hilt of his sword. And he's calling your name kind of as you're walking past Maracar, because he.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Damrod can tell if you've noticed
Sure,
these
yeah.
people and just don't care because of like what's happened to you recently, or if you just haven't noticed. So he's like quietly kind of calling your name to just kind of get your attention.
Yeah, Maracar would kind of like do that big buff guy thing where he kind of like stretches out his shoulders and starts looking like as big as possible. And then he puts his hands on his axe and he's just looking around.
Yeah, Aurelian being very tiny, like compared to Maracar, is going to pull out his bow and aim it at one of the figures. Still got his cloak up, by the way.
Yeah, perhaps one of the ones in front of you, Maracar, you are approaching,
Mm-hmm.
and getting closer to. They haven't loosed any arrows at you. They haven't
Yeah,
showed any other aggression other than holding their
sure.
position.
I mean, for all we know,
Probably-
we're just kind of in their space, you know.
They want us to
Yeah,
leave.
you've probably got 30 feet. You're probably
Mhm.
30 feet away from them now.
Maracar would just be staring this guy down with his
Yeah,
hand on his axe, and he'd probably like start slowly pulling it out, not like, you know, quickly to cause alarm, but just like slowly kind of getting it unhinged from his I don't know, holster, sheath, rope,
yeah,
whatever he's got,
like
and he's gonna slowly kind of like bring it down.
yeah. The figure would address you, all of you. I would not do that. We are many here, and you are lesser than us. What have you doing in the hills of our kin?
May we know to whom we are speaking?
And he sort of looks around past Maracar. Aye. We are the rangers here. And who may you be who travel on secret paths here in the weathered hills?
Damrod reaches up and throws back his cloak, lets loose his wavy long hair. Has no
It is
idea
I,
if they recognize him.
Damrod. I am said
That-
kin.
they would he would begin to just relax the bow, drawing it, lowering it, and you can lower, you can reholster your axe. We know who you are.
Maracar, he'd instead of holding it in like kind of a swinging position, he would hold it kind of towards the head of the axe
Yeah.
and kind of use it in a sense like a
Walking
cane.
stick.
Yeah.
Walking stick. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you are the Easterling from over the mountains.
Maracar spits,
Ding!
and he just kind of like gives him a nod.
I
I
remember
imagine
you
at this
with-
point, Rook's like, "What's taking them so long? Knowing they should have been here by now."
Yeah. You turn back, and you notice that the company is stopped, and has been stopped, halted by a number of figures who have rose up amongst the rocks and crags.
Do I see them
of
with
the
their bows
foothills.
drawn?
Yeah, but you see them relaxing.
Oh, okay.
You know that they're no longer drawn, but they're out and they're down. Arrows still knocked. Just
I want to
knocked.
sneak up to one of them, kind of see, because I obviously I know that has to be my party because they weren't that far behind.
Yeah.
Now there's these people that are surrounding them. I want to see if I can creep up on one of them.
Yeah. Just give me another stealth check.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
That tree
able to
people
sneak.
stealth.
You're able to sneak up on the one that's talking. Damrod, you bring these people by secret paths. What is your business here?
Damrod looks.
And he will pull back his cowl and reveal himself to you as well.
When he moves, just being the situation, Rook could pull out his scimitar, press it to his neck, and say, "If you move again," because that's all I'm seeing right now is my people are surrounded. So
Easy, Leonhard. What was your name again? I forgot. What was your human name? Leon Tigris. That's what it was. Easy, Leon.
I kind of look over like, is there a problem here?
The ranger stops with the sort of tip here. You move silently. We did not know there were more of you.
That's
Friends of
that's
yours,
the way
Damrod?
we like it.
As he asks friends of yours, Damrod, and looks back down, Damrod's taking his glasses off and just rubbing his face. No, Damrod just says, "Leon, you can release him. He's fine."
I take my hand off his
Your
shoulder
friends.
and like I extend my arm, like I'm backing up, but I'm extending my arm out, and I'm just like, puts it away, kind of walks around him and joins you guys. Friends of yours?
Damrod, you would know this as Adrahil.
Adrahil, we're seeking my father. And Damrod looks pained as he says my father. But yeah, he lets him know that we're seeking
Halberad, yeah. And he'll turn and look back. How well hidden are your features, Rook?
What do you mean?
As in, do you have your hood on?
Oh, absolutely, I have my hood on.
What you
And
I
wear
have
in
my
boots?
hood on, like my robe is like like cloak is like around me.
Mm.
I guess I should have just put that out there beforehand, and like it's almost like when he puts the sword away, it's almost like it's gone because it just goes right inside his cloak.
Inside the folds. And he would look back at you. You move very silently.
By
You
this
have
point,
a-
he throws his hood back, and then he would go and join his companions.
Yeah. Then, with that revelation, then I do not feel so embarrassed to be snuck upon by an elf.
Aurelian's just shaking his head.
What is wrong with being snuck up on by an elf? You seem to have
Nothing.
failed at that task pretty easily.
And that is what I am saying. I do not feel so embarrassed about it.
He's like, that's what I just said, bro.
We're speaking Elven and whatever else. It's all over the place.
I'm sorry if there's a language barrier.
I can't understand your accent.
Except Rook takes 2 leaves and rubs them together as the
And the rest of the rangers surrounding you move onto the track and sort of move past you all. Your father, we have not seen him for some few weeks now. He was passed by this way heading north to see the old man at the downs.
Yes, we're hoping that we'll be able to catch him on his way back, so that we do not have to travel that far. But it's necessary that we speak with him. It was all
Very
well
well.
when he passed through here.
It was. We have not had many issues or problems since the winter when. And he'll look at Maracar when we drove back through the Hillman.
So was it only orcs and wolves that we were having trouble with before? I know that's what we fought, but if I remember right, the other rangers that saved us, the twins, said that they
Yeah.
were having problems with something else as well, and because I promised to send word.
Yeah, they had spotted movement out sort of to the east, north of the east-west road. Let's just have a look on the map. So, yeah, if I just take my ruler, yeah, so effectively this direction, where campfires had been seen gathering again. A similar occurrence happened in the fellowship phase that you had. If you remember when you first all travelled together towards Bree, you were attacked by some hillmen, the hillmen of Rudower. The first time I almost killed you all.
Thankfully, we only lost a few carabiniers there.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the times Kevin's
Yeah,
tried to
that
kill us
was
so far.
which.
Or,
What
or
day
was
of the
that
Every other
week?
session.
or was that the third time if you count the wolves the first time and
The wolves the first time
ghosts?
weren't too bad.
Every
Yeah.
Those ghosts were rough.
Every
Oh, yeah.
session that we've been out of Bree, Kevin's tried to kill us.
Mhm. Yeah, but almost succeeded is the big thing.
Yeah,
almost.
he
Yeah.
almost succeeded once. Let's be real.
Listen, Kevin, you saw how many times I fell over and cursed a straw. Getting me to like pass that is not that big a deal.
Yeah. So in your fellowship phase, I believe Maracar aided you and the other rangers in breaking up a large camp of hillmen that were beginning to creep down from the northeast. The campfires or fires have been seen again in the similar direction.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought, but I couldn't remember for sure. I'll just relay that information and let them know kind of what I promised I would to the twins. Just I mean I personally don't know if they can send any kind of help or anything, but I at least feel like they should know about it just in case. So I'll lay that all out. Probably even going as far as to taking out a map and kind of being a little more specific, kind of directing where they said they saw the campfires and things. Probably just
you can do that.
double checking and confirming that it's off where we had to fight them off before.
Yeah, you can definitely do all that. He will look to one of the other rangers who are there with him and sort of look almost knowingly. You have brought good news then. We shall send. We shall send a few of us back towards the twins, down towards Weathertop. And we shall send scouts out to scout the plains.
They have planes in this world?
Shut up.
Yeah, it's every woodworker knows how to use a plane. Come on, Maracar.
I was just thinking Southwest expanded.
It's more like Northwest, to be fair.
North Down International.
Everyone right, Nave?
Yeah, I'm shaking my head at
Oh.
you guys.
I was shaking your head and you wasn't talking. I was like, oh, have we got technical issues?
No,
That's good.
I might, but I posted in chat, and I guess I should say it here because I forgot to say it at the beginning. If anybody watching or lurking hears any weird audio issues with my mic or the other players' mics, or the levels need to be adjusted if they're too loud, I'm too quiet, anything like that, just feel free to give me a shout and let me know, because I've made some audio changes, and some of the changes have been better, and some of them have made more problems. So until we get all the problems worked out, it's all trial and error. So yeah, that's the only thing it's the only issue I'm trying to keep an eye on right now.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems that they are glad that you've brought some tidings of this, and that they'll start putting into action some plans, sending a few rangers to reinforce the sanctuary at Weathertop, as well as potentially try and start sending out some scouts to scout the area again. I imagine you will be continuing your journey north.
Unless there's something that we need to do here. It seems you are on high alert. Is everything well here?
It has been. We've been told to make sure that we are aware of any trespassers. Orcs, I believe, have been seen this past year passing through the marsh. We do not know where they are coming from, however. They have not come through the hills. So towards the north somewhere.
Question about orcs.
Yep.
Has Maracar experienced orcs?
You have fought
right?
I'm sure he's.
You fought some in the marsh.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay,
That was one of the few times that Kevin didn't try to kill us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I remember that.
You remember one of them managed to crawl away in the night somewhere.
Oh yeah, I tried getting him, but I always fail at getting him, except that one time.
I feel like every single time we get in a fight, something runs away.
Yeah, and I try to get it,
Yeah, and you don't get it.
and I never get. I get it once, but it's okay because I got multiple actions now, so I'm gonna get them.
Multiple gets.
I got multiple actions and better speed, so I'm gonna get them.
He's gonna start taking levels in Treasure Hunter to get them cunning actions as well.
And then not use them right if you're like Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I dodge with a cunning action?
Yeah, I'm just gonna dodge. See, we're gonna joke about that so much that like we're just gonna believe that it's actually a thing.
I know, I forget.
Yeah, I mean, across the mountains, orcs are certainly, if not an ever threat, they are always remembered, like the boogeyman sort of thing.
Like the same squanch.
Yeah, certain, like your generation has had it pretty easy, and maybe the previous generation has had it pretty easy in regards to orc raids, orc attacks. But then certain other generations will tell stories of how there was like hordes of them coming through the valleys, and yeah, it's a rough time. But then you guys, like a generation or two down the line, it's like, did it really happen?
Yeah.
Do they really exist? Nobody's seen one for 50
like
years.
Or the Mongols, like they didn't really exist. So again, I'm sorry for stalling the game, but this is a Middle Earth lore question for me personally. I thought orcs weren't really a thing until like the whole thing happened, you know, where like the tower got like thing with the wizard did the thing, and then like the ground broke apart and like they were building orcs, you know.
I love your recollection.
Urukai.
Can we get Nate high and he has to explain all of Lord of the Rings based off what he thinks has happened?
Low key, that's actually a great that's a
What
great
he-
stream for content.
It would be a good
What-
screen for content.
What he remembered.
We need to get him a little flat. We need to get him making little flashcards of like important snippets of information.
Yeah.
Then we'll
to
be fine.
Jog my memory, and then I fill in the blanks.
Well, that's what Kevin's
Um,
for.
No,
That's
so
hilarious. I think that would be
so-
great.
so effectively, like orcs are always around. They're hiding in hills. They're hiding in the mountains.
Yeah, but
they'll
who made
build-
them?
That's a question for the ages. Aurelion.
Aurelion, who made orcs?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ
Aurel-
created all the creatures in Middle Earth, Nate. Or was it Louis
The-
Vuitton?
Damn.
No, it was
Yeah,
J.R.R.
it was Louis
Tolkien.
Vuitton. It was
Got
Louis
it.
Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton
all
created all
things,
of them.
and he
Got
said
it.
all things were good.
So, what Aurelion would, in fact, yeah, give me a history check
All
or
right.
law.
A
History or
check
law?
to answer this
Yeah,
stupid
history or
question.
law.
Wait. Nathan, did you
Mhm.
say Aurelion or
Wait.
did you just like nudge me and say, hey?
Oh, like in character?
Yeah.
In character, when he says orcs, he probably doesn't say anything. This is for like player to understand, because I
Okay.
thought orcs weren't really a thing until Tower Grey Wizard was like, ah, I think he did, and
White
then like
Wizard.
the fucking or the White Wizard, yeah, whatever, and then like the ground started breaking, and then fucking. You know, like the Seven Dwarves song started going, and then like they're all like making they're manifesting orcs out of the ground. So I was like, oh, okay, well that's how orcs became to be.
So,
I didn't know they were just like always
Aurelion's
around.
Aurelion's knowledge is that of the first Dark Lord, Melkor, who became Morgoth. He took the
Oh,
ancient.
like super goth.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like,
He- he was the original super goth.
uh,
He was the god goth.
No one's more goth than
he was the first big titty goth girlfriend.
Yeah. So, when the elves were taken or led by the non-goth gods to
I
the
thought
west,
there wasn't any gods.
There are.
You told me there were no gods.
Yeah, I told you. I didn't tell Maracar. Like Maracar doesn't know anything.
Great. Now, with everything going on, now Maracar has to understand a god.
Exactly. So, yeah, when the Valar led the elves to Valinor, in the time where the elves were living in Valinor, there were elves that refused to take the journey,
The dark elves.
and they stayed behind. They're actually called Morroquendi, which does mean dark elves.
It's all up here.
So basically, the Morgoth, he took these dark elves, and he tortured them, and he twisted them, and he corrupted them, and from them bred the orcs. That's
Gotcha.
the theory. That's the general idea of what happened. So
Right. That's the fable that you tell little young elves.
Because Morgoth could not create life, it wasn't within his power to create life. He could only corrupt what was there.
Gotcha.
So, that's effectively the story of the orcs.
Maracar would ask Aurelion this later. He'd ask Damrod first, but if he didn't get like a clear answer, he'd reluctantly go to Aurelion to ask him this
Why
question.
reluctantly?
He's got so player knowledge, just getting a little meta here. Maracar has a little voice in his head telling him not to trust you because you're a liar. So he's
You know what,
he's
Fair.
gonna reluctantly go to you afterwards.
It's
That's
all right. I know more than Aurelion, anyways.
Why would I lie about where orcs came from? What do I
Well,
gain from that?
Because pathological liars don't need to gain anything
Fair
from
enough.
lying.
Damn.
it's just your little power struggle there.
Okay, Mr. PhD works in psychology, Maracar.
Also, derp 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 derp.
Also, forest fish.
Or yeah, in the same sentence. Also, possums are forest fish, basically. All right. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
What
sorry.
were you
I'm
doing
sorry
again?
for stalling the whole game. We can continue.
So effectively, Aurelion would say that supposedly the first Dark Lord took and corrupted the elves that chose to stay behind, creating the fell race of orcs.
Mhm. Good enough for
And
Maracar.
they've been like a plague on the Middle Earth ever since. They never they hide in holes, and it doesn't matter how many times they gather together and an army defeats them, you never eradicate all of them. And they'll eventually just grow, multiply, and come back out swarming again.
They reproduce by budding.
How many SpongeBob references can we get in this one episode?
Adrihil would offer you some supplies, Damrod, for your continued journey north if you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long we've been traveling since the last one, the last outpost, but we definitely resupply whatever we've used.
It's probably like 2 days. That's it. You'll probably get to the end of the Weather Hills in perhaps another 2 days.
Yeah, I think we'll probably just go ahead and stock up. Make sure that we're good to go. Make sure we have what we need. Like I said, resupply whatever we used in those 2 days. Before we leave, just to make sure that we're not running short anywhere.
Yep. You wouldn't probably need to resupply much. Maybe some fresher foods.
Water.
Yeah. There are springs that come out of the Weathered Hills that feed the Midwater Marsh, effectively. And you can progress on your way. You just give me another survival check, Damrod. Rook, give me another stealth check. Aurelion, while traveling, what's Aurelion?
Yeah,
looking to do?
what does Aurelion do in
What
this?
does he bring to this party? I don't know, chips.
Crap, wrong one, sorry.
Aurelion's the type of person to bring like foam plates.
This is what humans eat.
No. Aurelion brought the plate carrier. Somebody else is responsible to bring the foam plates.
That little plate that holds like 6 deviled eggs.
Yeah.
It's like not the deviled eggs, just the plate that
the
holds
plate.
it.
Meanwhile, Damrod can't even find where the party's at.
Hey, I'm at the location. I don't know. No one's here.
I'm at the
Yeah,
place.
we're meeting at the Sam's Club, right?
Hey, that 14's better than my normal roll, okay?
I'm gonna be checking out like the surroundings, seeing if there's any like signs that anyone is trying to ambush us. Maybe I'm looking like.
So you're
I
on the
don't know.
lookout?
Okay, I don't want to steal your thunder, bro. Sorry.
Well,
Maracar doesn't have much thunder to steal anymore. So like, if you want to be the lookout, you can be the lookout.
Because we have the 4 main party roles, right? You got the guide, the scout,
you've always been like the
lookout,
hunter.
You and I
we have
alternate
the-
between hunter and lookout.
Yeah, because we get the same bonus.
Okay, how about this? You be lookout, and I'll look for some. I'll be the hunter gatherer.
Yeah,
emphasis
yeah,
on the
because you
gatherer.
definitely need to get the king's foil and the nice plants that help us live.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yeah, that's usually your spot.
Yeah, that's usually what
Okay.
I'm good at.
Okay. You can give me a perception check then, Aurelian.
It wouldn't be nature.
Well, you need to sort of find it first,
Fair enough.
and then
Oh, never
yeah.
mind. Didn't need that nature.
yeah.
I see it.
The Athalas was originally brought from Numenor by the Dunedain, and so it is most popularly grown where they settled and spent a lot of time. And obviously, the Dunedain spent a lot of time here in the Weathered Hills, so you're quite easily able to find some Athalas. Do you want to give me a D4?
Sure can.
You were able to find just two good patches, however.
Okay.
Well, yeah, enough to make two whatever it is that you make with.
Yeah, I'll
Athalas.
just go ahead and put down 2, and whenever I make some poultice, I'll do that.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
make two nerd potions.
um, Damrod, what was your history for, by the way?
Oh, just Maracar said he would ask me about the orc stuff before he asked Aurelion, so I went ahead and rolled history. I'm happy just
Okay,
knowing I know more than Aurelion.
um,
Oh my gosh, you got a 23? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
well, you don't know more than Aurelion.
You answered my question more directly, probably.
Yeah, Aurelion's got like several citations, and you're like, I don't even know how to read.
It was like, oh yeah, it's all in this book.
Yeah, and he pulls out the Silmaril.
Oh, I don't know how to read.
The Dunedain have lore actually, so they do know bits of history and whatnot, the magics of the world, I guess. So yeah, I mean, Damrod, effectively, what Aurelion has recited to Maracar, you would say that to him also. You may even just elaborate a little bit more, especially around the orcs' hatred of the sun,
That makes sense.
and especially how it relates to your Shadowbane, your Hunters of Shadow weakness. You would go into that sort of aspect of it, how after the two trees were destroyed, the last like drop of light from the trees were used, and two vessels were created, which was steered by a Maya of fire and another Maya who basically the Maya of fire steered this vessel of the sun, and then the other one steered the vessel of the moon, and they traversed the skies together. And the rising of the sun was actually was the birth of man. That's when man awoke in the east and began its migration west.
Good enough.
Yeah, let's just have a look at that survival. Okay, yeah. Again, perhaps you haven't travelled the hills this way as much, Damrod.
Got lost again. Shit.
But you do eventually pick your way with Rook's help, just finding or refinding the path ahead. And you make your way to the northern sanctuary of the Weathered Hills. It takes you a little bit longer than you probably would have expected. The path blocked here and there, having to find an alternative route. But you do arrive at the northern sanctuary. Maracar, give me a perception check.
Ooh, that's a hefty 21.
Not wanting, as Maracar As Damrod points out to you, Maracar, that you are approaching the northern sanctuary, perhaps your senses heighten. You don't want to be ambushed again. You don't want to put the group in a position where you may be ambushed again, and so you are on high alert yourself. And you do actually manage to spot hidden watchers up in the hills, and you are able to spot them before they surround you this time.
Maracar waves at them as he's walking by.
Yeah, you probably see two of them to start off with, but then and they are shadowing you for a little bit on a higher position up on the hills. They're trying to remain hidden, but again, you're on high alert at this moment in time. Do you mention that to the group at all?
Yeah, I'd say something to like Damrod. I'm assuming he is like nearest to me. I don't know if am I still in kind of the rear? Probably.
That's entirely up to you where you want to be at this point.
He'd probably float back and forth, just trying to cover all his bases. But he would say, "No, it looks like some of your friends found us, or maybe I found them. I'm not sure. I don't think they noticed us yet. Hello." And yeah, he'd mentioned that to Damrod.
I would be concerned if they weren't here. Should be near the next ranger camp.
Maracar would kind of shake his head and keep on going forward.
I think Damrod's going to ask everyone to wait here this time and approach alone.
Well, why do you want to wait here? Why do you want to go by yourself?
Unless all of you want to have bows pointed at you again. And,
well, I'll just hide and wait.
I also don't want another blade at a ranger friend's throat. It could be taken the wrong way. You did the right thing. It just could be taken the wrong way.
To be fair, I saw my friends surrounded, so I was just doing my part. Was it too much? Should I have done less? More?
No, I think you did. I think you did fine.
Good, because sometimes he kind of glares at Aurelion. Some people say I take things too far.
When, out of curiosity, when did I say that?
You implied it a couple times.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
You never outright said that was too far, but there's been a couple times where you said you could have done it this way, and it was much less me and more not.
Aurelion's like, well, technically speaking, I never said that.
Literally.
I think Aurelion implies a lot of things.
Aurelion does imply a lot.
It's like talking to a lawyer. It's like, well, I never said that specifically.
If you refer back to the court documents, you're an idiot.
Well, that's just rude.
Maracar would insist that he goes with you, Damrod. He'd say, "Well, I've met a bunch of these people. I'll go along with you."
Damrod will be fine with that, considering that they probably know you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna leave us alone?
What's the worst that could happen?
Yep.
They're gonna leave. Well, they're gonna leave us unsupervised, Aurelion.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna fight again.
Well, maybe you guys just need to duke it out a couple more times and then fix your shit.
Maybe solve your problems with words and not fight.
It's okay right now. Last time we talked, we punched each other.
Yeah, that's the actual real problem here. That they can't punch each other hard enough to actually work it out. It's like it just doesn't quite scratch that itch.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Damrod, leaving the two elves, you and Maracar progress up the path. I imagine quite openly. You'd maybe throw back your hood again.
Yeah, Damrod would probably put his hood down before they started away from the elves.
Yep. Quite openly declaring who you are at that point. You progress following the trail. You go for a little while. You maybe travel for another 5 minutes or so. When stepping out into the path, no bows drawn this time, but there are two rangers that step out in front of you. Damrod, we have not seen you in these parts for some time.
Yes, we're seeking my father. I also have two companions back down the trail. The last ranger station we passed was we had bows drawn on us. So I came ahead to let everyone know.
Very well. We have been watching you for half a day now. Although it does seem that your company have got keen eyes.
Yes, unfortunately for some of us, others see and hear just about everything, even when we're trying to keep secrets.
Very well. It is surprising to see you traveling with these companions on this trail. I imagine you know that your father is away in the North Downs.
Yes, it's precisely why we're traveling this trail, hoping to possibly meet him on his way back, if he intends to come back this way. As you know, this is a long trek, and we need to speak with him on a very urgent matter.
Yeah.
You know, we
Very
should
well
really
then.
set up a form of communication between these stations.
You know, if you put a string in between two buckets, you can
Damn
hear
you,
someone
Nate.
from the other side.
Nate, stop stealing all my jokes. You and I are on the same. It's the possum. This is how we communicate.
Yeah, we have possum energy now.
Very well. We will not. We'll leave you be. Do you need any supplies or anything for your journey?
I simply need a torch, and Damrod will get a torch, light a torch, and get to where Rook and Aurelion would be able to see, and just wave the torch back and forth, hoping that they get the message.
I mean, obviously not, because you'd never have torches. So why would they assume that this is you?
Like, oh my god,
Hey, I
something's
got
wrong,
torches
going hot.
at the last two ranger stations. Okay.
By the way, Charlie, tell them what we're doing.
We are mischievously and very quietly sneaking up to where Maracar and Damrod just went.
No, geez.
Okay. Give me give me
says,
stealth.
"Oh, jeez."
Give me stealth checks.
Look, you guys cannot blame Damrod when a ranger ends up killing one of you. It's not his fault.
Yeah. Aurelion gets an arrow
Oh
in
my
the knee.
gosh.
Damn. 29.
Rook, you are able to slip away unnoticed from your position. However, Aurelion, you try to, but are unable to.
That's probably the
and-
highest I've ever rolled in this game ever.
I mean, that's a badass bonus.
That's a nat
Yeah.
20 plus a 9. So
Yeah.
you're not finding me.
Damrod, Yeah, Damrod and Maracar, you do see Aurelion
What is Aurelion
his
doing?
making his way along the path. You don't see Rook anywhere, but you do see Aurelion, and he's trying to do so as carefully and stealthily as possible.
Don't you have an inspiration, Ray?
You think I'm gonna use it on this?
Yeah.
We're literally gonna die in like a session. I'm not gonna use it to mess with Nathan and Nate.
Damrod and Maracar, you would also notice that there are 3 rangers sort of shadowing Aurelion also.
Damrod looks over to Maracar as Maracar is like, "What is Aurelion doing?" And Damrod looks confused for a minute and kind of listens and hears all the noise that's being made. And he looks at Maracar and he says, "I can only imagine that he's making as much noise as possible to distract them from whatever Rook is doing."
It's like, that actually checks out. Yeah.
It worked out the way we wanted.
Or he's really trying, I think, actually. Like he's doing his absolute best right now.
He's trying his best.
He's such a good trier.
Anyway, the 2 elves, you do see Damrod signaling with a torch.
Oh, he learned how to light a torch.
You're the smart one, so.
Okay, let me go ahead and
Here we go. Nice.
let me go ahead and get this. Let me go ahead and get this out there, okay? We had torches lit the session before we fought the wolves, and all of us forgot that we had torches. Every one of us. Because when I went back and edited those videos, I was like, "Dang, we literally have a whole scene where we talk about lighting torches so we can see at night." And then none of us remembered.
For forgetting.
Yeah, but it was daytime when we got attacked.
It was.
But we still had torches, Nate. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yeah, you had, and
they were available.
And if you do remember, I've always said, if you think that there is a piece of equipment that you think your character would have reasonably, then you can just assume that your character would have it.
Also, the other best part about those wolf episodes is we kept passing around the responsibility of someone else lighting a fire and being like, oh, this person can do it next, and no one ever did.
Listen, it's the opposite of metagaming, where we should know it, but we don't.
We purposely screw ourselves
Also,
for the fun of it.
May I say, maybe this is like Aurelion, but I never said that you don't have a torch. I said you learn to light a torch.
So you didn't know how to do it before, but you do now. You learned how now. So now you know.
And that's called growth.
Yep.
Character development.
There you go.
Maracar's going through depression. Damrod learns to light a torch.
Yeah. Maracar's first encounter with depression. Everything's always been sunshine and rainbows until now.
Dude, that's what happens when you turn 20.
Yeah, you have to start paying bills and everything then, and it's like,
yeah, that's really what started it all. He was like, "Wait, I have to pay rent? What the hell?"
It's living in Brie. That's what it was.
Yeah, that place is so sad.
It's never sunny in Brie.
Never. Well, it's all of like Middle Earth is based off of England, so it's not sunny there.
Yeah, it's not sunny generally.
Brie is effectively Manchester.
Oh yeah,
Seattle.
Manchester United. Woo!
Yeah, they're not doing so great at the moment.
Oh. Well, neither are the Jets, but they're still going to win the Super Bowl.
I don't think the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm not even watching the Super Bowl.
The Rangers allow you to progress on to the end of the trail. And Damrod is able to bring you down from the trail, out of the foothills, onto a wide land stretching off to the north, where you can vaguely see more hills rising in the far distance. Damrod, you would know them as the North Downs. Let me just bring you out here. However, one thing you would all begin to notice also, especially as you are coming down from the hills, are pillars of marble, broken towers, old ruins here and there of a road, a building. Damrod, more so than anywhere else, you are entering into the heart of the old kingdom of Arnor, which later became Arthedain.
Maracar would absolutely ask Damrod, as we're like passing these ruins, he'd ask Damrod about it. He'd say, is this one of the old Dunedain cities? Like, there's a bunch of ruins around. What is this place?
Damrod answers you so fast, there's no way possible that he wasn't waiting for someone to ask this question.
He's counting on Maracar.
Maracar's in the back, like behind, like Rook's in front, Damrod's next, Aurelion and Maracar's way in the back, and Damrod sees this stuff like over the hill, and he just starts walking slower, and eventually Aurelion passes him, and he's walking slower, and Maracar slows down, so Damrod slows down some more. Just conveniently finds himself next to Maracar.
He's like, "Oh wow!" And Maracar goes, "Yeah, yeah. Say it. What is all this stuff? Oh boy, I'm glad you asked.
Word salad.
Word salad."
Aurelion maybe also observing this change of Damrod perhaps speeds up a little bit to catch up to Rook.
I'm not catching up to Rook. Rook can go on his own.
Oh,
What? Why does it hate on Rook Day?
I'm walking a normal pace.
Yeah. As you are walking around, you see fallen statues of various scenes, foundations of old buildings, of settlements. You see white marble rubble, white stone strewn about, hidden in thick grass. But also, you notice as you travel through the daytime, there are butterflies and there are flowers. The land is quiet, and even though you see the bones of what is left of the old kingdom, you see that there is a verdant life here. You see rabbits are abundant, as well as many wild sheep as you begin to travel. And effectively, Damrod, you would have told Maracar that when his people arrived from the downfall of Numenor, the High King Elendil established, first of all, his kingdom here. A little bit off to the west of your location is the Lake Evendim, where he built his city, Anuminas. Slightly north of that is Fornost, Iran, which is the north city or the north fortress of the Dunedain, and it was the last to stand against Angmar when it fell. Effectively, when Fornost was taken and destroyed, so too what was the remnants of any sort of kingdom or civilization for the Dunedain in the north, and that is when they became the rangers that you have witnessed and seen since you've been here. A wandering people, still proud and wise, just with no sort of large civilization behind it anymore.
So are there still people there today?
In these lands, no. None living that you can. Damrod would say all these lands were abandoned. The only lands that you'll find lived in are the lands around Brie, the hill at Brie, and those of his people who live off far to the east near Rivendell
Hmm.
in
You know,
in
we
their
have
secret refuges.
we have a lot of refugees over in Bree. Why don't we like why don't people just come out here and kind of start a new life and settle and populate? Like why does Bree and the surrounding kind of areas around that have to be the only thing that harbors civilization?
Well, I imagine it's because they have their own endangered wildlife and places to grow food and established waterways.
I mean, isn't there a road that goes straight north from Bree?
Well, yes, but this place isn't tilled yet. They would have to come with a good amount of food, or else they would have to make their own food or bring their own animals. And of course, they would have to make these homes livable.
Hmm.
Bree already has that.
I think the first thing for a civilization to be able to grow is security.
Mm.
Unless a place is secure, then it can never be safe enough to grow and develop. And there's just not enough people to be able to grow and develop. Even if you took all the refugees that have turned up in Brie recently and let's say located them up here, as a colony, they would most likely be destroyed. It might be a generation or 3 generations, but there's still too much threat in the north to for the Rangers to defend everywhere at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Maracar he would initially be like satisfied with that, but then he like kind of thinks about it, which he doesn't do too often. But you see that he started to think about something, and then he goes, "Well, yeah. Like, why won't the Rangers try to help populate this area and like provide some extra security over here, so that I mean, maybe even regrow the lost empire or kingdom that they had." Rebuild the legacy of who the Dunedain are. I mean, this seems like a perfect. I mean, look at all the wildlife here. You got butterflies, and I swear I saw some squirrels. This ground is good enough to grow all kinds of flowers and wildlife, and flowers and other plants. It seems like something that could be beneficial to everyone around here. Right on the lake, maybe. I mean, that's where the Dunedains had their area originally. Why haven't the Rangers tried to pursue something like that?
I think it's just a matter of finding the people willing to do it or to put in the work. Just because a bunch of rangers decide that this is a good spot to build a settlement doesn't mean they can find the people. The rangers can provide the muscle and the protection and even some of the logistics. It's a fun word that I just made up. But
Logistic.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't force people to come here. If you go to all of the refugees in Bree, Maracar, and you explain to them that you have a new place for them to live. Ray, I think your mic is super loud for some reason.
Mine? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just hear background noise. It happened to you
Something's
earlier when
getting
you were
weird.
talking.
It sounds like my laptop on a good day.
Yeah.
Literally nothing's happening except my cat is here.
Earlier when you
your
were talking,
cat
it got
has
super loud.
electromagnetic pulses.
So I don't know. It's just it's like it senses stuff and gets louder. I don't know.
Weird. I adjusted stuff because you guys were complaining about how quiet it was.
No, it's I don't like it sounds fine. And then just recently, for whatever reason, like the volume
Out of nowhere.
would go up for just a few seconds out of nowhere and then go back to where it was.
I think it was my cat. I apologize. Please continue.
Again, the problem is if the Dunedain came and resettled here, and they grew, it would again within a generation, 2 generations, there'd be another army raised in Angmar, and it would come and wipe out what's left of the Dunedain. There's just the Dunedain as a guerrilla warfare sort of organization is perfect. It's secret. It can set up. It can attack and prevent things from building. However, if it was openly there and it had to create a defensive force, there's just not enough of them to be able to defend the land, and an army would again just come in like it did with Angmar 1500 years ago and wipe out the remnants of the Dunedain.
Why don't the armies go down to Bree? Is what Maracar would question.
Because Bree is it's inconsequential. It's they are no threat to this shadow.
It's Kakariko Village.
Yeah, Sauron effectively
From Zelda.
I was like, that sounds super familiar.
In Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf doesn't do anything about Kakariko
Never played it.
Village.
I played the what's it called? I played the Twilight one, Twilight Princess or something like that.
I think it's in that. Don't quote me, but I think it might be.
Effectively Sauron wanted to crush the Dunedain, knowing that the Dunedain were the only ones that could effectively, as men, like stand against him. He hated them, and there was the only sort of real strength in the world of man, in the Dunedain. So he crushed the North Kingdom first, and then tried to, and then eradicated the royal line in the south in Gondor. And he's just been whittling away at Gondor ever since. So like Bree means nothing to him. Once he's conquered Gondor, nothing else really matters. Like, because no one else will stand against him. He'll rule over everybody else.
Where's Gondor from here?
So if you look behind Nathan's right ear on the camera. No, just stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are.
I can't.
Stay where
I
you
can't
are.
see.
The map is blurry.
Yeah. So where your right hand, Nathan. Right.
Okay.
Right. That's
That's
your
your
left
left.
hand, right?
Your other right.
That's your left.
Look, it's mirrored, okay? On screen, that's my right hand.
Then mirror it.
Okay. That
That's
one
not
then,
how
right?
dyslexia works, Ray.
So if you
Damn.
move your finger up, keep going, and then away from your body now, away from your head.
Oh,
Keep
where
going,
that
keep going,
where that
keep
crossroads
going.
is.
keep going, and keep going a bit more, and stop.
That's
Is
a
far
long
better.
way away from his ear.
Okay, that is far
That's
better.
off screen almost.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the bottom of the Northern Kingdom.
North Downs, yeah.
And
Okay,
then
gotcha.
just over his shoulder, you can see Gondor.
Oh,
Over
okay.
his right, and over his right
Oh,
shoulder,
I
you
see
can
it.
see.
I see the GON
Minas
of
Tirith.
Gondor.
Nathan,
Yeah,
behind
and
you, Condor.
It's there.
So from where we are now, and I'm sorry for keep kind of like stopping the game. I'm just trying to understand kind of where we are in the world here. So like southeast of kind of where our normal map is would be Gondor.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
it's a long way. It's probably like.
So when Maracar traveled
2
from the Bree,
months.
from not from the Bree lands, but from where he's from,
Beornings. Yeah.
the Bjorning lands, he would have traveled like north of Gondor. He wouldn't have gone
yeah.
through Gondor.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, that gives me a
l-
sense.
Effectively, the Bjorning lands are right above his head.
Oh, okay. So it's like Gondor, and then like north
Yeah.
of Gondor would be the Bjorning lands.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's quite far north of Gondor, but
The map,
you know what?
here.
I have got there you go. Someone's posted in Discord the map.
It was me.
Yeah, there is one in the Roll20 chat as well.
Okay, so
you see where it says Rovanion, there's a big forest.
yeah.
And
Is that where I'm from?
And towards the north of the forest, you can see like a line that cuts straight through it.
Yep.
Right, the west side of that forest, where that line is, where the river runs north-south, that's the Bjorning lands right there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, wow. So I'm like super far north from where that is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so Gondor is like almost not even relevant from what I would know.
No.
No.
You like your culture specifically is very small scale. Yeah, it is very small scale.
Okay,
it wouldn't
gotcha.
know too much of the outside world other than
Yeah.
100 miles north and south.
Sure.
Of your
Yeah.
position, potentially. And even then, that's a big distance for you.
Oh man, Mordor seems like a well defended area.
It
Kind
is
of the
very well
point.
defended.
Yeah, I guess so, isn't it?
It's got a big black gate around it. Yeah.
That's why no one simply walks into it.
Yeah, but you can just go around the right side of it.
That's a long way, unless you're coming from Rouen. How do you pronounce
Like
it? Rune?
from where? Rune,
RHU with a little hat and.
Yeah.
With a little
Rune.
hat.
Yeah. The Easterlings.
That's great.
Sorry for holding up the game.
That's okay. So you can see that life is very abundant here. It's not as drear, and perhaps that is something to do with the legacy of the Dunedain that lived here long ago. These lands, very much so, are ripe for tilling and turning into farmland. Perhaps that's what this was long ago. So, Damrod, why don't you give me another survival check to see if you can steer the course? Whereabouts would you like to try and head towards on the North Downs?
Wherever my father is.
You're not my dad.
I'm probably just going to. I mean, I guess it depends on if I know, where he would have went to speak with this person. Because I would try to find the most direct route there, the safest, most direct route there.
So the locals of Bree, they know Fornost, the old city and once capital of the North Kingdom, as they know it as Dead Man's Dyke. For
Is that where the troll head is?
Wrong dyke.
for that is where the Witch King of Angmar crushed the North Kingdom, and it's been abandoned since. North of that, you know of some standalone hills where the Ranger Sanctuary most likely is, although you've not been in this part of the world before, this part of the North Kingdom before. So most likely, the old man that the old ranger that the others have spoke about is Talandil. He was the former first marshal of the Rangers before passing on the position to your father.
I think we'll head for there then.
Okay. You can give me a survival check then.
Nice.
23.
Yeah. You set your course and you begin to make your way across the open expanse of between the Weather Hills and the North Downs.
Are these the
Heading
plains?
Yeah, it's still broken somewhat. It's not easy terrain still at this point, but you can see that the land is much easier to traverse and, like I said, to set up settlements and such. You continue your journey over several days, stopping, resting. Is there anything that anyone would be doing, talking about as you make your journey?
I'll absolutely be grinding up some of that apple-ass if I can.
Yeah, okay.
Maracar would begin asking, like, Damrod, and start like not directly, but just kind of like flirting with the idea of asking him if he can teach him how to read and or write. Ideally, he'd like to write, but Nate and I had this conversation earlier where Maracar probably has to learn how to read before he can write. So yeah, he'd like start flirting with the idea of, like, hey, Damrod, just curious, like, what's this say? And he'd like show him a piece of paper and see if he can like sneakily have him teach him kind of what words are on paper. But that's kind of his whole plan nowadays.
Damrod has no idea that you're trying to learn at this moment in time. He keeps helping you. But he's oblivious to the fact that you're trying to learn to read/write.
Would Aurelion pick up on?
I was going to ask, do I pick up on this at all?
Um.
Because like
I
you would
what-
kind of try hiding it from Aurelion.
As
Well,
you should.
I rolled insight to find out, and I got a 7. So
Okay.
Damrod
May
has
I
no
roll
idea.
insight?
you can roll insight indeed.
Does a 10 do it, Nate?
Against Maracar, maybe.
Okay.
It would be your deception, I guess. What's your
Okay.
passive deception? Or you could roll
Um,
deception if you wish.
I get a 0 modifier to deception, so would that be base 10?
It would be 10.
Yeah.
Yay! So the
I
roll
rolled
for
a 4.
Kevin is what's the roll for Kevin's games? Meets beats or what?
He rolled a 4 anyway.
Oh, he
so-
rolled a 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I rolled a 4. Like he's trying to hide it from you.
Yeah.
It's not like
So
he's just passively trying to hide it from you. Like no, he's
Aurelian
actively.
Aurelian definitely notices, but he's more insulted by the fact that you're going to Damrod as opposed to him to learn this, that he's just like ignoring it completely, and he's just like got his head down as he's like grinding this up, maybe grinding it too finely, like, oh, what's
Like, you gotta
Damrod
be
gonna
fucking
teach you that
kidding
I
me right
can't?
now. Yeah, and you would even maybe notice every so often Maracar would like start coming to you about like reading and stuff, but he for some reason he chooses not to, and he'll like change the subject. Like he'll come up to you and then he'll start asking you about words, but then he might just be like, never mind, it's not important. Yeah, I see you're busy, and then he'll stop and
Yeah,
go
he
away.
doesn't chase you about that because he's not the kind of person to like.
Yeah, I wouldn't
He's not
think
gonna.
he'd
He's
chase
not
him.
gonna beg you to teach you how to read. He's got better things to do in his
Exactly.
mind.
Yeah, and I think like mentally for Maracar in his head, he's like, oh well, I can just ask Aurelion to teach me how to read and write. We've had such great adventures. I think this needs to be written down, and for maybe my kids can read about my adventures. And then he's just got that little voice in his head now that's like, oh, Aurelion doesn't have time for you. Don't worry about it. Like it's fine. Ask Damrod. At least he's a real friend. He'll actually sit here and work with you. Yeah, I think that's kind of the little voice in his head. And like again, metagamey, this little voice in his head is obviously trying to separate and isolate Maracar from the whole group. But Aurelion's just such an easy target to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, even the little voice in his head that he's manifested is like, Damrod's the only real friend you have in this group. You know what I mean? So that's
That's
kind
a
of
lie.
Can I say of all the things?
Maracar knows that deep down inside, but that little demon that he's manifested.
Well, that demon can shut the hell up because you got friends. You're not
Also,
alone.
can I
It's
say of all the things that
Damrod
you can
didn't
say-
leave you, and you really think it was two weeks? And Maracar is like, I mean,
Nate, stay out of my head. Quit using my jokes.
yeah, and
Do
Maracar's
you
sitting
have
there,
the possum?
yeah, Maracar's sitting there like, well, I mean, like, I know it wasn't really 2 weeks, but it just kind of hurts that they left you. And that little demon's like, yeah, it wasn't 2 weeks. You're not that dumb. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that situation here. But even the demon's like, all right, I can't pry Maracar away from Damrod just yet. But step by step.
Can I just say of all the things that little demon can say, Aurelion doesn't have time. He's an elf. He literally has nothing but
Yeah,
time.
nothing but time.
But
Damrod is literally the one that's having to guide everyone, think of everything that the party's doing. Aurelion's just there reading a book.
yeah, he's like, I literally have forever. So, but yeah. So it's a little glimpse into what Maricar's working with back here.
Which
But
is
yeah.
much.
Yeah, which isn't much, which makes it easier for him to get all fucking corrupted. But yeah, that's kind of that whole situation. So he's asking Damrod to teach him to read.
You are able to make camp pretty easy and find pretty good shelter in the broken ruins of a building here and there. You find enough wood. You can also find plenty of plenty of food. If anybody wanted to go hunting at all.
I'll go hunting.
Hey, stop that. My cat is
yeah.
hunting for my shoes.
Okay. Rook, give me a stealth check.
Oh, wow. That's not great.
Let me just see how this goes. Oh, okay. Yeah, and you can give me an attack roll with advantage. With your like sneak attack's not really going to matter, but yeah, just don't miss. You don't miss. Yeah, you kill one of these sheep, and you can cut it up, prepare it, and basically you have a real good lamb dinner.
Oh, Maracar loves lamb.
I quarter it up and I kind of like wrap it in like the hide, and I leave the like the guts and the bones and stuff, and I just kind of like wrap it up, tie it off. We can use this hide later. Just kind of take it back with me.
Yeah, wool's good.
Where's the bacon?
You haven't found any wild pigs yet.
Well, sheep don't have bacon?
No.
Oh. I mean, I guess this is fine. Thanks, Rook.
No problem.
It's fine, you know. Are you sure? Are you sure they don't have bacon?
I mean, I didn't see any pigs out there, so I mean, it's kind of where it comes from.
Wait, bacon's pig?
Bacon's pig.
Whoa.
Mind.
Yeah, he's trying to. He thought everything had bacon.
It doesn't.
You continue on your way, on your journey. You pass into the lands that are certainly much easier to traverse. Again, the land is very pleasant as you progress on. The hills you see off to your north, but you make your way to two hills, which is towards your northwest of your position. As you do so, you find more structures that are, if not still standing, but are in more of a better condition. You see half towers that have been torn down, broken, rather than towers that have been, or buildings that have been completely smashed and torn apart. Sometimes in a ring, you see them. They're almost like broken teeth at one point. Is there anything that Damrod is up to, or thinking about, or discussing with anyone as you travel across this land?
I think
for the first time, I'm thinking.
I think that with the playing off the stuff of Maracar trying to learn to read, I think that Maracar keeps seeing like inscriptions and things like that, like on statues and pillars and just these different pieces, and pointing them out and asking, and Damrod's reading them to him and kind of explaining it and stuff. But every now and then, Maracar will point at something and be like, "Oh, what does this say?" And Damrod like looks at it for a second and he's like, "That's just scratches, Maracar. That's not writing." Before kind of moving on.
Yeah, and Maracar would get frustrated by that. And was like, well, what do I know? Like, what scratches and what's writing? It all looks the same, really.
And That's when Damrod like goes a little bit deeper than what he's been like teaching you, or like not teaching you but telling you already. Because you haven't asked like
No, I
for
haven't
him to
asked
teach you.
directly. No.
So he hasn't really like delved super deep into it. And this is when he's like he looks kind of confused, but he explains, like he'll find like the next actual statue that has writing on it and explain like what each letter or rune
what an
is
alphabet
versus,
is.
yeah, versus just the random scratches we were looking at earlier.
It's like,
Rook and Aurelion, during some of these conversations where Damrod is pointing out letters and words to Maracar, you do notice that there are plenty of inscriptions here in Sindarin, which is Rook's language, the elven language that Rook's people speaks.
I'll speak it
What?
too.
Yeah. Like Rook won't speak Quenya though, which is the high elf language.
Oh my goodness.
The Sindarin is a lot more common amongst all elves.
That's what the
Well-
twins were speaking to us, right?
I think so.
In Sindarin, yeah. Damrod also, I believe, probably should speak Sindarin. As I think all the Dunedain speak it.
Kevin, could I possibly like use my history to find out what Sindarin runes are possibly doing in this Dunedain place? If there were like if there's any history of elves being here.
You don't need to roll for it, simply because you know the culture well enough that basically the elves taught the Dunedain. They enriched the Dunedain. That most of the kings and queens of Numenor were named in a Sindarin. Were named in Sindarin. It was only until they started to turn against the Valar in the west that they started using their own language to take names again. But then all the faithful Numenorians still took their names in Sindarin. And so Elendil was one of the faithful. His name is Sindarin. And so many of the Dunedain names are all tied to Sindarin names.
Would I be able to decipher what these runes say?
Yeah. I mean, you can both Rook and Aurelion can read and write Sindarin. Like I said, Rook, this is your native language. Perhaps the Dunedain have been taught it, but it's not their first language. Aurelion, you would know this language also like the back of your hand.
What's it say?
What does it say, Damrod? What is this plaque or this inscription that you're looking at?
Yeah, Damrod.
Well, it is it is a likeness, or it used to be. It's what's left of the likeness of some ancient artifact that was rare amongst the elves. In fact, there was only maybe one or two, and it's referred to in this inscription as a throne, but it's definitely not like a throne for a king. It's definitely a throne used for a different purpose. It's not exactly clear what purpose it's used for, based on what's left of this inscription.
It's a fucking chair.
Are you gonna be like, oh, it's made of porcelain?
They wouldn't use porcelain for this. Not at least not back then. Maybe if the technology advances, but yeah. Elves used to the the specific elf that invented this, that started to use it, just for history's sake, that you may not get this from the inscription, often disappeared from Zoom meetings to go use it before coming back and not knowing what's going on.
He won't even know how good you burned him there.
He'll never know. Tell him to go back, or like
You'll
what
have
you
to
need
watch
to do
the
is like
VOD.
post the highlight.
Can we just have Nate's cat join the group?
She's just with us.
She's right there.
always. Yeah, she's
On the
there.
bed.
Kitty cat.
She can't hear us.
Aw.
Nate's wearing headphones.
Oh, that's right.
I can text Gabby.
Yeah, perhaps it's this statue is. It maybe was once a part of a fountain in the middle of a roadway. And what you would see is the head of both figures facing each other have been knocked off, and you can't find them anywhere. But the two figures are standing face to face to each other, clasping each other's forearms in a greeting. The one has a sword. Aurelion, you would recognize the hilt of the sword. And the other looks like it would be holding potentially a long spear as they clasp forearms.
Does this look like anyone from history that I should know?
Yeah, give me a pretty easy history check.
15.
The statue, the likenesses are very much badly worn. However, the figure with the sword hilt is the sword hilt of the weapon that, well, the sword that Aragorn was carrying when you travelled with him, which was the shards of Narsil. Except this sword isn't any shards. It is the complete sword. And then the spear looks similar to that of what you've seen was Gil-galad's spear, Aeglas, shall we say.
So
Gil-galad being the last High King of the Noldor.
So this is Arathorn, I assume?
This is Elendil.
The other one, the one holding the Narsil.
Yeah, that is Elendil.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Elendil.
Oh, that's Arathorn's father. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, it was Elendil, who had a great friendship with Gil-galad, and together they met on Weathertop before marching to war in the south against Mordor. But you get the sense that reading the inscription also that this also may have been a meeting place between the two of them long ago.
Looks like there is a lot of history between both our peoples, Dunedain. Assuming you know what this is.
We did use your language to name our children for a while. I'd say that wasn't just by happenstance.
You did for a time, anyways.
Yes, and then things happen as they do, and people lose lose sight of the history. That's
And
things like this. And he kind of gestures towards the statue that I'm trying to discover, recover, and remind people of.
you know, it's often that I forget that there is something of a brain between those ears. You and I are a little similar. I was a historian before I left Rivendell.
I guess that explains. I guess that explains why sometimes you seem like you know everything when Maracar asks questions and
Yes, because I
describes
do.
something. Right. A good conversation.
We're bonding.
Damrod just stands there quiet, staring at the statue after that. Until it, I guess everyone seems to be ready to go.
Yeah, as you progress on, who's doing the lookout duties at the moment?
I believe I am.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception check.
I'd like to use inspiration on that.
Okay. Okay. Again, you're paying lots of attention to the surrounding area at this moment in time, Maracar. Perhaps trying to find more inscriptions, more writing, for you to look at, to try and read, to point out to Damrod. And you find tracks. Perhaps where the ground is somewhat soggier. But you find tracks imprinted in the grass, in the dirt, in the mud.
Maracar would point that out to Damrod, and he would say, "Damrod, is this your people?"
Can I
Give me a
examine the
survival
tracks?
if you want. Yeah.
Hold on. I might have
Give me-
something that helps with that.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to say actually give me an investigation, but I think you can use survival for investigation checks in these situations.
I actually think I have an ability, maybe.
Okay.
Let me read this ability. It might help here.
Does he actually know his character?
I told you I took the last 6 months and learned it since we played last time.
The past 2 weeks.
Okay, never mind. It is not tracks. It is just sounds. I thought it worked with tracks too. I was gonna try to use rumor of the earth, which says when you stretch yourself upon the ground with your ear pressed against the turf, you can decipher the sounds of the earth. You can hear it groan when the enemy treads upon it, or echo the distant gallop of horses, or sing in tune with the rushing of tumbling waters. I mean, I guess I could still use it. I could still try it. As I'm kind of examining these tracks, and see if I can hear anything nearby about, with these tracks.
Yeah, give me a survival check first, just to look over the tracks and determine what they're about.
There you go.
Damrod lays out on the ground with his ear, and he goes, "The pioneers used to do this."
It's an old pioneer trick.
Starts like
Yeah.
in the tracks.
It's
I'm
not
just
just
staring
a
at him like-
boulder, it's a rock.
Damrod, examining the tracks carefully. you are able to determine that there was many tracks passing from the north heading south. However, the footprints are perhaps too heavy for the indent they're making for it to be rangers potentially. There are also probably far too many of them, and your people are pretty tall, and you imagine that most of your people's feet are pretty large. Um, and these are not, large footprints in regards to the size. Um, you would probably determine that they could be potentially orc boots, or like orcs have trod here. And again, with your roll, you could probably determine that it was probably a few days ago. And like I said, they were heading south.
So they were heading the way we came?
You was coming from from the southeast heading
Okay.
northwest. And this has almost come from direct sort of the northeast coming. So if I just
So
use
it's
the
it's
point,
almost like we would have, like, our paths crossed kind of thing.
yeah. So you're sort of making this journey this way on the map,
Gotcha.
right? And these seem to be
We're over
coming
halfway.
this way
Gotcha.
So it's more like we
on the map.
intersected.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what to do with that information at this current point in time. Because, I mean, short of backtracking, we can't warn anyone. Rangers need a method of communication.
Should we not maybe light a fire? Do you not have any way to send a smoke signal to warn your fellow Dunedain that there are some orcs coming?
Well, they don't even have a town.
I mean, I don't know if that's something we do. I mean, if it is, then Damrod would definitely do something like that. But like, I don't know if there's anything like that. I know we had a discussion about messages before, and I know we got as far as to say that the Dunedain don't have carrier pigeons, but I think that's as far as we
Well,
got.
this is a little different than carrier pigeons.
Yeah. The likelihood that you would go on to light a fire in this situation, again, the Rangers deal as much in, will try to do everything secretly, and not very open, unless it's required. So if they found that there was a large force of orcs gathered and mustering, then the Rangers would equally create a force to counteract it. But even then, it wouldn't be like a pitched battle. It would be guerrilla warfare, and like SAS or Navy SEAL sort of strikes, more so than
Minutemen,
tactical strikes rather than okay, I'm going to create an army and march against them in open warfare. They just don't have the numbers really for that. They have the skill levels, but they don't have the numbers. You'd probably estimate that there's maybe 15 to 20 sets here.
I think that we have two choices in this situation. We can continue on and hope that this isn't a problem for anyone, Rangers or otherwise. Or we can turn in the direction these tracks go. Try to find the ones that made them. And try to do something about it ourselves. That takes us
Hi.
off track of your quest, Aurelion. I realize. That's why I left us another option as well.
Well, my priorities are obvious. Take that as you will.
Rook would kind of pipe in and say, look, every other time we've veered off course, we've ended up in a really bad spot. We already have one mission. While we deviate from that to go to another one and possibly risk another situation.
Are you
So that's
feeling okay,
two.
Rook?
To what?
Are you feeling okay?
He just remembers like the past couple battles, all of us have almost died, so he's not too keen on veering from the path again.
Maracar would also say, we've been looking for this necklace for Lord knows how long. I think continuing on our mission is probably more important than chasing down a band of oaks.
Nice.
I'm honestly surprised, Maracar. I didn't think that you would be more in favor of this than helping people. But I suppose that's your majority, Damrod.
Well, helping you is, I mean, we're finding this necklace so that we can help people. You said this necklace can find things. Then you need it for something. Then I'm sure that whatever you're trying to find with this necklace.
It's more the fact that people have hurt other people for it. So we're trying to get it out of the common people's hand and find a way to get rid of it permanently.
Well, that seems like
Aurelion, give me a wisdom save.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
Hmm.
Did it go?
Zesty.
Okay,
16.
you succeed. Again, this talk from Maracar about using it to find people and knowing.
Well, he said
Maracar's-
find things.
Yeah. Maracar.
I thought you said
Maracar
people.
specifically says things.
Yeah, I was going to
okay,
say
okay.
he has not told Maracar that it can find people yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
I think that's one of those things where the little demon in his head at some point might mention, was like, well, if it can find things, why can't it find people?
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's
He
fair.
hasn't
So
got in depth with his word learning yet.
Yeah.
yeah. So but again, Maracar's bringing up the jewelry, the maybe not the ring because he doesn't know it's a ring, but he's bringing it up again about finding things. But you're able to sort of shrug that off enough to reason that it's just Maracar's innocence.
For now.
Right, so I don't really get anything malicious from that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
understand the need to want to follow the tracks, Damrod, and take care of this problem, but we really kind of need to keep going the direction we're going because every time we, like I said, we get attacked, we get lost, sometimes both, and we have a really hard time figuring out where we're going again.
Let's think some happy thoughts. Maybe they'll go and kill Gror's party.
Is that fucking dwarf dude?
The very
it
same.
is.
Oh yeah. Maracar at that name being uttered, he gets real upset. He goes, yeah, I hope they do. No, I hope they don't because I want to see him.
I want to talk to him.
And what are you going to do, Maracar?
Oh, I'm gonna keep him. He's gonna be mine.
I wasn't necessarily suggesting that we go hunt down these orcs. I was merely laying out options. And like you can tell something's kind of like almost pulling at Damrod's mind in that direction. Um, Maybe he even picks up he picks up like a stick off the ground and he's just kind of playing with it in his hand and he's like just rolling it around. I would very much like to find those merchants of shadow.
And Maracar gets it now. Logistics.
And I would very much like to rid the world of that blight. I've made a commitment to you, Aurelion, to help you. Part of that is getting you to my father. If I must turn my back on this shadow and the stick breaks in Damrod's hand as he grips it a little too tight, so be it. And he just kind of tosses the stick to the ground and dusts himself off and starts looking in the direction for us to travel next.
Yeah,
Kevin, is there a ton of tracks all over the ground of these orcs? Like, would we be able to tell? Would we be able to tell if they're a big band, a small band?
Damrod was able to determine that there's maybe 15 to 20.
I would kind of turn to him seeing these and going, look, there's more of them than there's us. We get surrounded again.
Maracar would go. Excuse me. Maracar would go up to Damrod and kind of put a hand on his shoulder this time and say, after we're done finding this necklace, you and I will go hunt down every orc, every shadow that is around, and we'll keep these people safe. And he kind of gives them a nod and a pat on the shoulder, and he says, I'm with you on that.
If the world works to where we can do this together, I don't mind coming back and doing this again.
Damrod looks very deep into Maracar's eyes and just says, there will always be more shadow.
Well, then we'll always have work to do.
Maracar, give me not Maracar, Damrod, give me a survival check.
It's better than what I thought you were gonna say.
Give me a shadow roll.
Yeah. Huh? What?
Okay. You think that if you wish to push, you could probably get to where you think the ranger location is in a day and a half, 2 days.
I would probably mention this to everyone else. Do you want to push for that long? Or do you wish to stay our current pace, just to keep ourselves prepared if something else is out here?
What do you mean something else is out here?
And he just looks down at the orc tracks. There could be more.
It would be wise to maintain our current pace and be careful.
I agree.
Yeah, I think then that we're trying to get there like as soon as we can, but because of in light of finding, at least for Damrod, in light of finding these orc tracks, we're gonna definitely travel at a reasonable pace and stay rested enough to be able to fight if something were to come up. I don't want to push us to the point where we have exhaustion and then we're having to do some battle.
Yep. Okay.
Good choice.
with that decision made, we will end the session there then, and we can pick up again. When?
Next year.
Next week. Next
Next
year.
year, literally 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Next week or 2 weeks? What
2
we?
weeks is good for me.
I'm good for
Okay.
whenever.
So next year it is.
Kit Kat.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's stretching.
We tried to get her to join, and she would not come.
Because you had headphones. We
Yeah.
figured that out.
To be
That
fair,
was definitely the only reason.
to be fair, guys, even next week, even if we played next week, it'd be next year. So we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
everybody next year, no matter what.
Yeah.
Here in the next year.
All right.
I do believe that we are beginning to prepare for Charlie's first game as a GM.
so excited, but so scared at the same time.
I don't know why. I thought you were going to say Charlie's first TBK.
All of you dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. No, it's not meant for that. It's meant to have fun. Like I said, there's just one piece of information I have to insert, and it'll tie everything together. I'm not gonna lie. While I am absolutely getting excited, I'm getting extremely nervous because I've never ran a stream. I never ran a game for a stream, or people.
Don't psych
The
yourself
reason
out.
I'm running it, the reason I'm running it for this group is because you guys know me as me, so you might be able to understand some of the things I'm trying to incorporate.
Oh yeah, and you can.
If that makes any sense, I know it's.
If you need help or you have questions or suggestions or anything like that, that anything that's coming from us is it's not in a mindset of like belittling you or putting you down or anything. It's in a mindset of like, hey, we're trying to help. Like if you
I
need
really
to know
almost
this,
wanted to do my first one shot off stream, but I kind of feel that with all the work that I put into it and almost a whole year that I put off doing it, with y'all's help and Jarl's help. He's helped me with the overlay. He's helped me with some really cool ideas, like not ideas as it pertains to the game, but like new ways to think about putting things together. So you guys have helped me immensely. Trust me.
I'll tell you this, Charlie. We started streaming Curse of Strahd on this channel. Just like everyone agreed to stream Curse of Strahd to kind of help me out to prepare for my first big stream, which was a charity stream. And as far as I know, most of us, if not all of us, regret that we didn't stream like the first 11 or 12 episodes. Because we were 11 or 12 episodes in before we actually started streaming it. And now we're like, man, we wish we had those episodes.
You say that. It was just me and you that's left.
Well,
No,
yeah.
Kevin was there for a little bit.
Kevin was there for a little bit, and then Nate joined later, but yeah.
Yeah, but Nate was there for all the stuff we streamed, and Kevin was almost there for all the stuff we streamed.
I just kind of feel like this group's not going to be at. I mean, I want criticism for sure, constructive criticism. I don't think this group's going to be a complete jerk like some of the other groups I know.
No,
listen. From my point of view, right? In regards to running the game, you are the one in charge. It is your game and your vision of the game. So if you want something to happen or don't happen in regard to a rule, then that's your rule. That's it's like,
yeah, that makes okay.
The rules are the guideline, right? How you envisage the rules are what's important, right?
Like for example, I kind of bend a couple things like good berry. I think it's stupid to take one turn to eat one berry.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do like I just did this in my Krampus game. They had good berry, and my wife's like, it says one action per berry. I'm like, one action per 5 berries, ready to go.
Well, in my games, because again I like Rangers, I actually turn it into a smoothie. So you make good berry smoothies.
Oh man, I gotta think it. I gotta write that down in my notes for next time.
Listen, if it helps any, it took a while for it to happen, but in my Curse of Strahd game, a druid eventually made it into good berry wine.
That makes sense. I can see that. But
just you guys are a little bit more well versed on the higher level different characters than I am, so I'm gonna try to be able to wrangle everything into where it all fits nicely.
Well,
Don't worry,
even
I'll
then,
tell Nathan
Charlie.
how to run his character.
Even then, Charlie, like you mentioned, as you know, some other groups would probably be more difficult to run your first game with. I think the group that we have here, at the end of the day, especially because you're going to be streaming, right? We all want you to succeed. We all want Nate to succeed. We all want Ray to succeed. You
We
know what
want
I
you
mean?
to see
You know, I'm working on that, but
maybe when Kevin starts.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
just waiting for Kevin to get
You're
outside
next,
of
bro. You're next in the shoot.
get outside of a paper mache computer, and then
Oh wait, he upgraded. I thought he had a potato.
yeah,
Damn.
A potato.
a
Oh, that's neat.
potato. But yeah, so like we're all here because we want us all to succeed. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
So whatever you need, you know, we all have, you know, different things that we're good at, and we're all here doing it together, you know. So whatever help you need, whatever critique you need, we're all here for you, man.
Yeah, I think the timeline is I'm gonna get with Jarl, and I guess in the next week or two it should be, my overlay should be done. At which point I will get with Kevin over there. Can I get a refresher? Because like I remember most of it, but I've taken so many blows to the head with the military and martial arts. I don't remember everything.
And now motorcycles.
Hold on. I've
I'm
never
sorry.
wrecked that, Ray.
I'm sorry.
Knocking on everything over here.
Not a good joke, Ray.
I'm sorry.
Not good. It's
Not a good joke.
You can take away my joke license now. Oh wait, it's not here. That'll happen.
We've tried that for a long time, Ray. We've tried that for a long time.
You're still gonna joke unregistered.
I'll probably have Kevin get me to where I can run the map effectively, and then we should be good to go.
I'm excited,
There's just layers.
Like an onion. But yeah,
Right,
we're all here for you, man. And also
appreciate that, guys. I really do.
W Jarl of Goats, because he's such a huge, massive help to all of us. He's huge. And so
like I want to run it for this group first, just because, like I said, you guys are the ones who freaking got me interested in streaming anyway.
It's so fun.
It's a bug, man.
You guilted me like, oh,
Yeah,
all the streams except Charlie over here. When are you gonna start streaming? And I start wheels start turning. I'm like, you know, I got
I could.
See, that's the thing. I had it in the back of my mind, and then I started streaming with Nathan. I was like, this is fun.
It is fun. Like I told my kids,
you guys do awesome, honestly.
Like Gavin was like, "You're gonna start streaming?" I'm like, "Yeah, live streaming." He goes, oh, "Live stream." What's it, man?
It's way more accessible than people think it is, and it's already it should be crazy accessible already.
Oh yeah.
But that's the latest and greatest in my world with the one shot. I'm looking forward to it though. I got some really interesting things.
Charlie, it sounds like you've got a lot to do to get ready.
I don't.
Unlike Nathan, who just needs to make a level 3 character, but I still think you'll be there before him.
Have the story done before his character's built.
It's already done. Little do you know. I just gotta finish my.
Well, actually,
I just gotta finish my time machine so I can go into the future.
What I'm gonna do is I actually have a book that came with a lot of magic items. I'm gonna pick the 4 best, and then you guys can roll a D4, and whatever you pick is what you get a magic item.
I can't wait till I get the giant sword, and I don't know, Kevin over
here.
There
is a sword in there, but I don't know if it's giant, but it's got some.
And Kevin over here gets a ring that increases his wild shape ability.
A freaking dragon, everybody gets scared and runs off. Like, damn, well, we just won. Good session, guys. Good session.
Once per short rest, you can turn into an ancient red dragon.
Oh, no.
Once per short rest. Yeah. My lord.
Once per short rest?
I mean, how long's a short rest? Like 20 minutes?
At least. Oh, is it at least an hour? I thought it was like at least a half hour for a short rest.
No.
Short rest is technically in game, it's 4 hours, isn't it?
No, short rest is an hour, and then 8 hours for a long rest.
Well,
All
that's
right, well,
where we're
guys,
at.
I gotta go. So
Well,
me.
Ray,
Absolutely.
I'm up in the
before
morning.
you go, do you have anything coming up that you want to promote?
no.
Okay.
She's like,
No,
yeah.
nothing.
If you want to see more of me wearing this kind of shirt and acting like I wear this shirt, then come watch me on my stream because I'm still playing Baldur's Gate.
If I figure out how to stream Baldur's Gate from my Xbox to stream, I'll do it.
I can't. I'm not the person you need to
Easy
ask about
peasy,
that.
Charlie. Easy peasy.
Do you really know how to do it?
Oh yeah, one of my first few streams was streaming Assassin's Creed Valhalla off the Xbox.
That's kind of what it's in my Xbox right now, to be honest with you. But yeah,
Yeah,
dude, like,
I'll get with you.
We'll hook up so I can start streaming Baldur's Gate when I buy it in a couple weeks.
It's so good. It's so good.
Hey.
What about you, Nate? You got anything going on?
Well, I am off tomorrow because I've been working. So aside from like Christmas, I worked every single day since I started this job.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah.
Also not nice, but also nice.
No, absolutely nice. Yeah, I haven't had time to do like personal stuff, but I mean, it's nice getting a paycheck every week. You know, well, not every week, but like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to know that there's a paycheck coming now. So, anxiety wise and kind of self wise, I feel a lot better about doing things like streaming because it doesn't feel like such a waste of time.
Mhm.
So, and then, yeah. So I'm off tomorrow. So I am going to set up. I might need someone to remind me because I'm terrible at this. I am going to set up and launch and open my Discord tomorrow. So that's cool. And a big thing I have going in my Discord is a section where people can submit songs and videos for me to look at and review on stream. I guess like the React content. But yeah, I'm at a stage where I'm exploring music at the moment. I didn't really grow up in a musical household, so I'm trying to learn music and
was
try
in
to see
band.
what I feel, what I like, and try to experience all kinds of new forms of music. So that's going to be a big thing that I want to start doing on stream. Seeing,
Be careful. You can get DMCA'd for that.
yeah, that's fine. I'll figure
That's
that out
fine.
later. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, big thing is going to be like, you know, looking at music and looking at videos that people like. And then hopefully that'll transfer into more of kind of giving me more stuff for like the actual podcast, and maybe I can monologue a little bit with like chat being there and stuff. But tomorrow I am planning on streaming when Cammy is at work. And let's be honest, I'm probably going to be doing Hunter Call of the Wild again because that game has me hooked. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, what I got going on here.
Nate, I just sent you your first song to review. Did you receive it?
Oh, I got you right here. Scary
song was it?
Bitches by Lesbian Vampires from Outer Space.
Thank you.
From outer space. Lesbian vampires from outer space.
Yeah.
And oh, I'm sorry. This just in. Song submissions are now closed. We had an inappropriate song submitted, and it ruined everything.
Hold on. I got a second one for you. Actually, I take back the first one.
Oh, you take back the first one?
Here we go.
That's
Yeah,
good.
here's the second one. There you go. Play it right now.
We got Lemon Demon. Oh, I like this song actually. Two Trucks, yeah. Yeah, why do I know this song?
It's the two trucks having sex.
Two Trucks having sex, yeah. Yeah, Lemon
Okay.
Demon's a fucking weird one.
That being said,
Much love to you
that's
guys.
what
I'm gonna get out of here before Ray suggests any more songs for anyone to listen to.
Next time we see Ray, she'll be needing bail money.
Yeah.
I'm in jail all the time, always.
I got you. Don't even worry about it. I'll come bail you out.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
have
just started GoFundMe now.
Yeah. Free Ray.
Free Ray.
Wait, what happened
Oh
to
my
Ray?
gosh,
Nothing yet.
I need
Nothing
to
yet,
make
but
a
it's
channel point
coming.
redeem where I have like a jail cell in the channel
Oh,
point.
yeah, that
Yes.
would be cool.
Yes.
That would
Oh
be
my
so
God.
cool.
Because you need
out.
to be in jail at all times. Is
I
what I kind
do.
of figured out. Yeah, you or at least house arrest. Fuck.
Yeah. All right. I gotta go, guys.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
bye,
out
And me.
Ryan.
guys.
I will
Bye.
be
Charlie, I
heading-
don't think we're playing tomorrow.
What?
I'm sorry.
I'll be
Just
ending the
drop that
stream.
hammer on
Why?
him.
Who's
I
gone
don't
now?
think people are available.
What the? What?
Kevin's gone now.
I'm gonna go yell at him. See
I'll
y'all
be
later.
ending the stream, guys, and then I think as long as things go well here in just a couple minutes, I'll be restarting a stream, and Dumpgraw and I will be jumping back into Eco, as long as he gets all of his stuff done. So I may see
Y'all
you
are
guys back in
on
chat.
that game, dude.
Dude, that game is so much fun.
I watched
like-
a little bit of it the other day.
It's super chill, but I've gotten super addicted to it. And it's just two of us playing. You can have a whole like community and server of people playing.
Wow.
And get to the point where you have to have like politics, and you can have if
Oh,
you
wow.
get to that point and you have politics going, you can actually there's a Twitch integration where you can have your chat vote for different people to have different positions.
Oh, that's really cool.
Obviously that doesn't work as well with like the 2, sometimes 3, every now and then 4 people we have playing, but we're having a lot of fun. We just now discovered iron, so we're getting into the metalworking
Woo!
side of things, and
Yeah,
we still
advancement.
have like 28 days before the meteor hits to get enough technology to stop the meteor from hitting. Yeah, that's the whole premise of the game. You start on a brand new planet, no pollution, nothing like that, no damage to the planet, and you have to build up your resources to try to stop a meteor from hitting the planet and destroying it. But in the process of building up resources and technology to stop the meteor, you have to be careful enough not to destroy the planet yourself and make it unlivable.
Right. I mean,
So-
isn't that just the story of our life?
Basically.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool. That's something that I don't think is explored enough in video games, or just really in real life too. Because like,
Yeah.
a meteor hitting Earth is a genuine concern. We pass through like a meteor shower area like twice a year. And like generally the moon or Jupiter, catches most of our meteors that should be hitting us. But eventually it's not gonna. So that's a real concern.
You'd think we'd have a plan for this in place by now, but I'd be surprised if we do.
Now we have theories about
Yeah.
what we could do.
This might work. We'll wait and test it.
Yeah, we'll paint one side of the fucking one side of the asteroid. Maybe that'll work. But awesome, man. No, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think Dumpgraw's working on some podcast stuff, and then once he's done, as long as it doesn't take too long, it's not too late, I think we'll jump back into some eco. We're playing
Cool,
it
man.
like at least twice a week right now, and I'm super enjoying it. I find myself
Good.
wanting to play it more. But we haven't done
Good
any playing
stuff.
off stream on our world, so we take turns streaming. Sometimes it's on my channel, sometimes it's on his. But we haven't played anything off stream yet, so it's interesting to have like a log of how far we've made it. It'll be interesting
Very
to see
nice.
if we can solve the problem without destroying everything.
Yeah, that's a really cool premise of a game.
Yeah, I like it.
It looks neat.
Yeah, and it's based on real time, so it's 29. I think we set it for 30 days. It's 30 days worth of playtime. It's not 30 in-game days. So we've played.
Yeah, so whether you're on or not.
Yeah, we've played like 12 or 16. We've played like 12 or 16 hours, so we've only lost like 12 or 16 hours of our
Wow.
time for the meteor hitting. The only other
That's
way
really
to
cool.
speed it up is if you go to sleep in game. It speeds up the time limit a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it gives you a little more experience too while you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's interesting premise. I'm really excited to explore until we figure out if we solve it or not, and then actually I want to play again, depending on how it ends, and that way I kind of know what I'm doing when we play a second time. That way it's a little like I can think about things more logically, because right now I'm still learning everything, so I'm making weird building decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how I grow in it and try again a different time.
Hell yeah, man.
But I'm gonna end up so I can take care of a few things while I wait for dump. I think. Thank you for hanging out for a few minutes and talking to me.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
good to be back
anytime
and
at
hang out
all.
with you guys.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been too long. I know we
Hey,
chat and Discord a lot too, but this is different.
yeah, no, and definitely we got to do some just like chill streams where we're just all hanging out.
Oh, definitely. I
Yeah.
think Ray and I are gonna try to do after the new year. I think we're gonna play that game A Way Out or The Way Out or
Hmm.
whatever, where those two guys are trying to escape prison. I think we're gonna try to do some
Oh
co
yeah, yeah,
streams
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
which will be
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah.
We need to get a group, even if it's just like you, me, and Ray doing like we used to do Starbound here and there. We need to do that stuff again. I was watching some of
Yeah.
those clips the other day, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was y'all just I wasn't able to make a few of them, so y'all are just so far ahead of me in that game that it's like, oh shit, like I'd have to like grind on my own time, and I just don't think I could play that game on my own.
Yeah, I gotcha. I
It
tried a couple
it
times.
seems cool, but it's just I don't know. Most games, at least for me, are so much more fun with like you guys than just
Oh
doing it
yeah,
by myself.
definitely.
Except Hunter Call of the Wild, I can just sit there and hunt deer all goddamn day. It is the craziest thing, dude. I'm in the fucking savannah and I'm looking around, going, "Oh shit, that looks really cool. Oh shit, that looks really cool." Chasing down fucking wildebeest and shit. Yeah, dude. But yeah, we got to do more stuff together, especially now that I'm home full time now. If I have like a set time that like, hey, we all get in the group chat. I'm like, hey, who's available this week? I can absolutely try to make that happen. You know what I mean? Or next week or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
gonna be it's gonna be a game changer that you're home full time like that. So
hmm,
yeah, because I would like to get together and do some of the stuff that we've talked about, because I know we've talked about
yeah, yeah,
working together and not only doing co-streams but just kind of figuring out what we can do to help each other build our own streams and stuff. And I'd
yes,
love to get
yeah,
together
yeah.
and do some of that stuff too.
And to be honest, I what I would like to do, whether it's with you or someone else, like one thing that I do want to get to in this coming year is have a permanent co-host on the podcast. One, to hold myself more accountable for actually getting production out and like having like I said, like, hey, once a month or whatever it is, have a podcast and it's me and a co-host, whether we have a third guest or not, but just having that other person there to say like, hey, every whatever, we're gonna sit down for a few hours, we'll do a couple episodes, whatever it is, um do like reacts or reviews or something like that, but just to have another person static, like, hey, this is both of our shows, and I'll even rename the shit, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the Viva La Vega podcast anymore. But I think for me, having that co-host there permanently is something that I need to kind of grow and stay consistent. So that's going to be one of the things that I'm looking for this year coming up. Obviously, you 100% would be my first choice because, like, between you and I, like, as far as I see it, at least, like, you influenced me. You say that I influenced you to get all this stuff started in the first place. So I think that's perfect there. But I know you got so much stuff going on. I mean, and I look at, I, I don't want to say I'm envious, but I also don't want to say that I'm proud because, like, to me, feeling proud of another grown ass man just feels like demeaning in a way, like looking, I was like, oh, look at you, I'm so proud of you. But like I look at all the stuff that you're doing and I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're fucking killing it. You're doing all the things that you need to do. And I think there's a little part of me who, especially these past few months where everything's been kind of up in the air and inconsistent. I think looking at like people like you and how often Ray is doing her thing, I mean, I'm looking at you guys and be like, man, I am just falling so far behind of where I would like to be as far as consistency and stuff. So I'd love to do more work with y'all.
Well, I
Of
appreciate
course.
that, bro. And I
Yeah,
uh,
no, you're kicking ass, bro.
be proud of me all you want, dude. That, like, knowing that there's someone else that not only is like doing the same thing, so understands the um like the ins and outs of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build,
Mhm.
and can but also can see the progress that we've made. Because I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
been, I guess you haven't been on the stream since the beginning, but like you've been around since the beginning. They
Yeah, yeah.
joined Curse of Strahd not too long after we kind of started streaming it and stuff. And like I know you can appreciate that progress and see that progress, so it means a lot to me.
Oh, I see it,
Um,
bro. I
and
mean, you're there.
I know that feeling too, of feeling like you're falling far behind. Because I mean, I know it sounds crazy because it hasn't been like it's only been like maybe a month or so, but this month of being so busy
Uh-huh.
at work to where I've had to cancel so many streams has just like
Yeah.
it's just been eating me up inside.
Hmm.
Just knowing because
I
I
can
just
see it.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm neglecting something I love doing, even though I've
Yeah,
been working with
it's a level of
YouTube and stuff like that.
responsibility. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And I've been working on the YouTube. I mean, I got like that was a ton of work to get the YouTube all caught
Oh
up, but
yeah,
the
kick
YouTube's
ass,
caught up.
bro. Catching up like that, man.
But missing out on like having to cancel my streams and like putting that in my Discord and being like, guys, I don't
Hmm.
have time to do this thing that I love to do. It sucks. Um, and I know it hurts like viewership for a bit, but at the same time, like it doesn't take much to at least at the level we're at. It doesn't take much to recover from that once you're being consistent again. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that you being home full time will help some, and I
Hmm.
think that that will also help everybody else. All this community and infrastructure we've built around each other. It'll help us be able to help each other and you more than
Yeah.
what we've been able to. Because I mean, like I started this like you were saying, I started kind of doing my podcast slash streaming because you kind of started your podcast, and then you started streaming after this stream, and then Ray started streaming. Like
Hmm.
it's all been a
Yeah.
kind of a ripple effect, but we've all stuck like we haven't started our streams and been like, oh screw you guys, I'm trying to grow my stuff too, so I'm gonna distance myself.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
all 100% like backing each other behind each other. Like I want you to
Hmm.
succeed. No, I want you to succeed. No, let's all
Yeah. Yeah.
succeed together.
No, I mean, and I think that's why I want to make sure that at least for me, I'm always trying to keep you guys in mind. Whenever I like, whenever I'm looking at, okay, well, what do I need to do to get better? And the first thing in my mind is there anything that I can do to make sure that Nate, Ray, and now Charlie, right? Is there anything that I can do for them? Even though, like, obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm the smallest fish in the little pond we have here. But even then, I'm like, is there anything that I can do to make sure that whatever get-ins I get is kind of communally passed around to our own little community here, and then we got little sub communities. um and I think once I get to the point where I'm more consistent, that's when I can be more of an asset to kind of what we're all doing. And for me, that's just a level of honestly, and we're still on live, so it's another aspect of accountability on me here. Honestly, my biggest issue is me getting in my own way, and I guess to a certain extent what I'm manifesting with Maracar and our game here is kind of my own little demon. You know what I mean? That's constantly trying to pull me away from my friends and the things that I need to do. I'm like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You don't need to do that. You're not gonna help them at all. And it's that little demon that I think almost inadvertently I passed on to Maracar in a way to kind of play with that demon and kind of test out how that affects my own life, and I didn't realize that until we started getting into this conversation here. But yeah, I think that's my own little demon that I'm constantly fighting with, and I'm working on it, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you guys always kind of being there with me through all this shit. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you guys are awesome.
Absolutely. And I mean I say it to Charlie and Ray and you like and I mean I say it to Dumpgraw and basically any of my streamer friends like if there's anything that I can do big, big or small,
Hmm.
if it's something I can do, I am more than happy to help where I can because I want to see you guys succeed too. Like
Yeah.
that's a big reason why it took me so long to make the jump and do something like this. I've always wanted to do something like this, but the
Yeah.
when I first kind of got aware of the streaming industry, it was the side of it that I saw actually was a lot of cutthroat, like I'm not going to help you because I don't want you to take my viewers. And
Highly competitive for no reason.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
absolutely love the side that I found this time of all these different communities and streamers and
Yes.
offshoots that are just like, hey, like, yes, I need to keep my viewers. So, please don't like stream while I'm streaming and come into my chat and try to pull my viewers. But
Right.
as long as you're being respectful to me as a streamer too, like I'm happy to help you because I want to see you succeed. Because we all bring different stuff to the table. I mean, I have my stuff that I play and do. Like my big thing with you that I notice with you is you seem to have this magnetism. Like I I can sit. You're one of the people I can sit in a stream and watch talk about something that I have no clue what you're talking about. But I can sit in your stream and watch you talk about it for hours because like it
Mhm.
seems like you know what you're talking about. It seems like you're confident in it and you have that magnetism. Was watching one of the streamers that we were talking about not too long ago, actually before we started stream, and he was talking about some game that's kind of like WoW. I just saw him pop up on my feed and just clicked on him. I don't even follow him or anything. And I was like, I'm just gonna see what his stream's about. And he was talking about some game that's kind of like WoW that I have no interest in playing, no idea what it
Mhm.
is. I don't even know what game he was talking about to this point. But I sat there the whole time I was setting up stream.
Mhm.
Just listening to him because he knew what he was talking about. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's I don't know. To me, it's soothing to listen to someone that either knows what they're talking about, seems to know what they're talking about, or like is happy to admit that they're wrong if they say something wrong, even if they know
Oh,
what
yeah.
they're talking about. Like, because
Yeah, I mean,
he
I
he did
go
that in
into
stream
every
too.
conversation assuming I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that whatever I know about whatever topic this is, the other person probably knows more than me. So whatever I can get from that conversation just makes me a little bit better. And that's my next, because I did that thing on my podcast where I was talking to a lot of service members.
Oh,
The next
those were so good, such good episodes.
I really like those. I wish I put the effort into kind of getting more from the people that I was talking to, but it was like my first kind of big, foray. My big push into like finding a big chunk of conversation to have. And I think with that I learned a lot about kind of the cadence of, I don't like the word, but like the cadence of an interview and how to
Yeah.
have that interview feel more of like a conversation. The thing that I want to do next, which I just need a little more preparation for, because I want to do it right, and I want to do it um, with as much respect as I can, is go into learning about world religions and as many facets as I can. And I'd like to start with talking to like an atheist that is very, I guess you could say, against any type of higher power, whatever it is, just to understand what are the arguments against religion in general, so that when I do talk to Christians, Jehovah Witnesses, Muslims, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever it is, I can come into that and not challenge in a disrespectful way, but understand what the other side of the argument is, so I can get to some real answers. I'm at a stage where I'm doing kind of my own Bible study and doing that kind of stuff, and there's questions that I have about the idea of a higher power and inconsistencies and also similarities between all these different religions. So if I understand the counter argument to what these religions are, that would help me provide a more in-depth and thorough look into what these teachings are that are all around the world. So that's kind of my next, I guess you could say, project as far as as far as content goes for the podcast. And I'm excited. I'm excited to learn a lot about that, because again, I'm going into it with the idea of everything that I know is probably wrong. So I want to go in there with a fresh mind, completely open mind as I can, and say, hey, what's your thing about, what does it mean to do this, and then be having the confidence to say, okay, you said this, what exactly does that mean? So that's kind of the big thing that I'm going into now.
Hey,
Mixed
mixed.
nut.
Hey, mixed nuts. Me and Nate are just kind of chatting. We just finished up our Lesser Rings game. Um, tell me we just ran another ad. That's, anyways. Hopefully you can still hear me, mixed nuts, since you got a pre-roll ad. But yeah, we're just kind of chatting and talking a little bit before we end our stream. We just finished Middle Earth, and me and Nate just decided to hang out, talk for a couple minutes. Different projects along the way, and what we're looking forward to doing in the new year and things like that, as far as content and streaming and Nate's podcast goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kind of having it's been a while, both with the Christmas season and different
Yeah.
sicknesses and stuff since we played or even just gotten to chat. So just kind of catching up a little bit, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited. I need to. I'm feeling like I need to restructure the schedule that I have currently. But I am excited to kind of. I'm excited for the new year in the sense of
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to trying a few new things and some new projects. Um, I definitely want to keep my horror streams going when I
Mm-hmm.
can find a good horror game. Because that seems to have a good amount of feedback. I'd like to try to get into some more chat versus streamer in the new year again. I know the Pokemon thing I did went well. Um,
That was real fun.
so I want to find another game that I can do something similar with in the new year. I've talked about the Long Dark for a while. I've even got channel points set up for the Long Dark. I may try to do
Mm-hmm.
that. But I want to find something that's honestly, I want to find something that people wouldn't see as chat versus streamer and try to make that,
Sure.
either chat versus streamer or mildly chat versus streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's just some thought and thinking about. But I've also recently had at least one of my followers and chatters and community members that used to be around a lot. Um, Kind of pop back in and just be like, "Hey, man, I miss your chill streams when we used to play Pokemon and just like be able to chat and stuff." And I'm like, I
Yeah.
haven't really done that in a long time. So that's part of the
Mm.
reason why I'm enjoying Eco. Because while I do have Dump and I talk and stuff like that on stream, but it's definitely more chill and I can interact with my
Yeah.
community a lot more. Um,
Yeah, I
and
think those are my
I'm
favorite
enjoying it.
streams. Yeah, and like favorite streams in the sense of like being able to hang out like with you, you know what I mean? And then also doing those kinds of streams with myself. I'm still at that stage where when I do a like quote unquote chill stream where I'm like playing, Crusader Kings or something like that, like a real slow paced game or like a turn based like Civilization. Um, I get all kinds of randoms come in and hang out. Um, so it's like it's neat to just like have that moment where I can like kind of pause the game and just like sit down with someone in chat and just kind of shoot the shit for a little bit. Um, it's definitely, I'm sure that'll get easier to do when I get like regulars. You know what I mean? That always pop in and whatever game it is. I I guess maybe there's a certain aspect of what I'm doing where I'm almost afraid to pigeonhole myself into a singular game. But I think at this point that's kind of a small concern.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't want to. I definitely don't want to do away with kind of the horror streams because I have fun
Hmm.
with those. And I know some people have fun coming in and trying to jump scare me and stuff like that. And I mean, let's be honest, a grown man screaming on stream makes for great clips. Sometimes. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, do it for the TikTok.
yeah, you can't miss out on that opportunity. Um, but yeah, like same thing you were saying, like it's nice to just chat and hang out with the community.
Mhm,
Um, my my trick with that is trying to find some game that can that's chill but can keep me active, so I still have
mhm,
stuff that I can do on screen. If there's not a lot of not a lot of stuff going on in chat, but
mhm,
it's also something that's like I can either go somewhere in a building or something and just like, all right, I'm gonna let my character chill here for a second. Let me talk to you
Right, right.
guys, kind of thing. Or let me let me hold this one button, Minecraft for instance. Let me hold this one
Right,
button
yeah, yeah.
and chop through this rock while I talk to you guys. Like,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
and that's something that Eco's done for us with me and Dump is,
Mhm.
I spend half my stream chopping down trees to get logs, and I can just chat with Dump and chat with the chat and all that stuff, while I'm chopping trees. But
Yeah.
it keeps me doing something where I'm not just kind of standing there,
Mhm.
at the same time. But yeah, and man, I want to do our community nights again. Like I know we've done Lethal
Yes.
Company and stuff like that with Jarl and them, but
I
I want to
have
do
all
like
of the community games, but I haven't been here to actually play the damn community games.
I want to do some more. I want to do some more Jackbox. I want to do some more Among Us,
Mhm.
like all that
Oh,
stuff. I want to
Among
get
Us
it.
was so fun when we had like 6+ people. Oh my god, that was so much fun. And the clips were beautiful.
Yep, and I mean we have a whole Discord now where we can get with other
Mhm.
streamers and set
Yeah,
something up. So
yes. Yeah,
I want to do
I got to
stuff like
start
that again.
utilizing Discord more.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I want to do kind of in the new year, and some of that may come with some restructuring as far as schedule wise
Mhm.
goes. Um, I'm really on the I feel terrible saying this, because I know I just got this job in July, but I'm
Mhm.
seriously considering already trying to find something else. And I am not a person that likes to job hop, but I'm
Yeah.
also like I'm at the age now where I want to find something where um like I can pay my bills with it and be at least somewhat happy with the job
Mhm.
I've done when I get home. Um
Sure.
and I
Yeah.
like I know that's not going to be every day, jobs are every job has its bad days or whatever, but like I'm trying to find that balance. Um So I'm definitely not looking or doing anything in the holidays or right after the holidays for job wise, because that's just asking
Mhm.
for more problems. But yeah,
Right.
um, I
Well,
want to
yeah.
find something too where I can be sure and I can set at least mostly have a pretty sure streaming schedule set, because I've put too much work on in this to just let it go. But I also
Mhm.
like can't justify missing work to do this yet.
Well, and one thing that you have going for you, at least like I've always liked the idea, or I've always kind of had the idea, I guess you could say, that I'm pretty decent at finding jobs. Like I can find a decent job like it's fucking candy. I've been lucky in that sense. Um and one of the things that I've learned is that like you have a job now, a full-time job that, whether it's good or not, that is what it is, right? But if you have a job and you're looking for a job, that sense of urgency, like, all right, I really need to find anything, is kind of taken away out of the equation. So because you have a full-time job, if you go online, Indeed, whatever it is, right, that gives you much more of a standing to be picky with the job. You can tell them, hey, this is what I need. Here's my resume. This is what I need for me to come be a benefit to you and your company. And I don't need you. So if you say no, if it's not working out, then it's not working out. No hard feelings on either part. I need, for example, just throwing this out here, I need this much pay. I need a consistent schedule, or at very least, I need these 2 days off, whatever it is, right? And and because of my resume and my references, whatever it is, here's what I am offering you. Here's what I have done in my time at managing stores, doing all this, right? It gives you like it's crazy how much of what's the word I'm looking for? Not benefit, not upgrade, um, um, fucking a better standing. There's a word
Advantage.
I'm advantage. Thank you. It gives you so much of an advantage in the negotiation, like Mick says here, right? In that negotiation, because like from an employer's perspective, it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. right? A lot of people nowadays, they don't see it in that sense, like, oh yeah, I'm just getting taken advantage of from the company. Well, part of that's because you let them take advantage of you, right? If it is a mutually beneficial relationship between the two, between you and your employer, boom, dude. They'll do anything because most people just show up late and do the bare minimum. You know what I mean? So now that you have a job and you're there, you understand the processes of deliveries and fuck, I lie on your resume. That's what I do. I tell them like, oh yeah, no, I was a manager in retail at my friend's company. And then when they call my friend, I was like, oh yeah, no, he was an assistant manager because I can do the job. It's not a hard thing. You know, I'm not saying like, yeah, I was CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but if you can do the work, why not say like, hey, I can do the work and I have a reference for it, you know? I probably shouldn't say that on live air that that about forging your experience. But
It's
the
okay.
bottom line is that
I don't think the interviewers of any future jobs are gonna go find this video and find it.
yeah. Yeah, but
They're not watching
but
this much content to investigate.
yeah, this is a deep dive. When I get canceled in 6 years.
You remember that
This
one
is
video you made 20 years ago where you stayed and talked to your friend after the Lord of the Rings game? Wait, you watched all that?
it's like, "Oh, yeah, we found it, buddy." And the only one we can blame is Mixed Nuts because he's the only one talking to us. But yeah, you have so much of an advantage because you've also held down a job for such a long time at a firehouse too.
Oh yeah. And that's
You know
my
what I
thing.
mean?
Like that's where I'm at right now. Is I just like I literally feel like I just need to find the right opportunity or the right company. Because
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I have a very I say I have a varied. Most of my experience is in some form of customer service, but I have a varied amount of experience as far as like different positions throughout different companies and
Mhm.
like just different types of customer service and like different things I've even done with like my dad, even if it wasn't in
Yep.
like a professional kind of setting, but different things I've done with my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, I grew up in a small town. I grew up as a pastor's son. So
Mhm.
when someone needed help on their house, on moving, on
Right,
plumbing,
right.
on anything, like whatever you can imagine, when old Miss Smith needed help, like she called dad, and dad was like, "Yep, I'll get my sons, and we'll come down there and fix
Mhm.
whatever walls falling
Yeah.
down in your house." Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's exactly it. You have such a standing and I mean, you obviously like honestly, like what a 9 to 5 office job would be perfect because that gives you the stability. You know exactly when you're working every goddamn day, and you probably get weekends off if you're working an office job. You know what I mean? So that gives you the opportunity to actually put any effort that you need into this kind of stuff. But working like the service industry, dude, oh, it's so inconsistent
I
and
know.
there's always that pressure of like, yeah, I really should stay another hour because these people are fucking slammed. You know what I mean? Maybe not for you because like you're doing like deliveries and stuff. Like so once you're done, you're fucking done.
Oh, I
But
mean,
that's kind of what I'm running into at area.
I don't. I mean, I don't really do it anymore unless it's something where like my crew's running late or I
Oh yeah.
know someone's just had like a really bad day and it's not anything that they've done, simply because we have so many people that will just like they'll slack off till the last minute and then they'll ask for help, and
Hmm.
I'm like like I'm like, I've already worked 45 hours this week. I'm not staying to help you
Yeah.
because you did, two jobs in the time we did 8 jobs. Like that,
Hmm.
it's not my
Yeah.
responsibility at that point to come help you. Like, I'm sorry, but you did that to yourself. Now, your partner got
Hmm.
hurt trying to move a fridge up 2 flights of steps. Absolutely, I'll come help you. Like that, because
Hmm.
that's out of your control, and I don't want you to be stuck here all day for that because I got done early, and
Yeah, but
that kind
if
of
you're
thing.
if you're the arbiter of your own destruction, then that's a you
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
I got I got taken advantage of for almost 10 years at Firehouse. Like I do not plan to let another job do that to me if I can help it.
Good.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, you whatever you do, man, you're gonna fucking kill it. I'm 100% confident in it. You kick ass. You're such a solid, great person, like a genuinely great person. So I have full faith that whatever you do, whether it's in streaming or 9 to 5, quote unquote, just like normal day job kind of stuff, you're gonna kick ass. And if you ever need anything at all, you could always call on me. Again, not the most useful person around, but
Well, I appreciate that. You know what I do need, and what we do need to do at
Mhm.
some point is just hang out again and actually have a time where I don't have to drive
Yes.
there, drive 2 hours there, hang out for two
Mhm.
hours, and then drive 2 hours back.
Yeah.
Just hang and chill.
No, 100%. And even if it's like meeting halfway or me coming to you, I mean, again, now that I'm home full time, you know, we can actually set some stuff like that up.
That would be
Yeah. Oh
fantastic.
man, that would be so cool. Yeah. So it feels like I'm actually home now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I live in a place now. I'm not living in a suitcase,
I
you know.
I feel that. I've been there.
So
I
yeah,
have
no,
been
I'm
there.
excited. But listen, I don't want to hold you up any longer than I have already, man. You got
Oh,
your
you
stuff
good?
going on. And I'm also
Yeah.
hungry as fuck.
Go get you some food, bro. Yeah, Dump and I aren't gonna be able to stream. He's working on podcast stuff, so yeah, it's
Okay, good, good.
just filled a little
Dude,
bit of time
W
for Shay,
Dumpgraw's podcast also.
bro. Absolutely, they're doing work, man.
Dude, I 100%.
I know they've changed format, and I do in a way miss. I didn't always get to tune in, but I would pop in and lurk and chat when I could when they were doing them live. But
Mhm.
Dump was telling me all the stuff he was doing for the podcast last week when we were chatting before or after one of our streams, and
Mhm.
that guy puts in so much work. Like he puts in so much
It
stuff into the
shows, man.
podcast, and they've
It
come
for
a
sure shows.
long ways just like from the because they haven't been going long, but you go
Mhm.
watch their earlier or listen to their earlier videos, and not that they were bad, but you can already see a difference from their first
Yeah.
videos to what they have now. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
it
his
it it
modding stuff is
absolutely
crazy.
shows. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing where I look at how quickly, you know, like it so what Dump and Jarl are doing with that podcast there, that's another thing that I'm looking at that and being like, "Man, that's what happens when you make the right sacrifices in the right direction, the right way, and actually do what needs to be done." And I don't know their numbers or anything like that, but even if they don't have numbers right now, if they continue going at the level of work ethic that they have, there's no doubt because they've absolutely hit a niche that needs to be serviced. The numbers exactly mixed. The numbers will come. They're doing the right things at the right time in the right way, and that will always, at least in my belief, if you make the right sacrifices in the right time in the right way, you will always be rewarded.
Yeah, and I mean they're set up. Even I don't know what their numbers are either, but
Yeah,
even if they don't have them now, like they're set up for the numbers. Like their Dump is putting, and I keep saying Dump. I'm not, and that is not to say that Red Falcon, their producer, doesn't do anything or Jarl doesn't do anything. I've just personally talked to Dump about what he specifically does, and like Dump puts in the work, and to the point where like he runs that as if it was a professional podcast that had thousands of listeners, and
yeah.
I like I said, I don't know what numbers they have, but
Mhm.
he's running it as if they have the numbers.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think that's a very good.
It's literally manifesting, manifesting your success. And he's kicking ass. I don't really have a relationship with Dump, and as much as some of the other people in our circle do. But from what I see kind of from the background here, I mean, he's doing it right. You know what I mean? He's absolutely doing it right, and just as much as I want you to succeed, I want to see Dump succeed. I want to see Table Night succeed. I want to see all of these people that I come into contact with in our circle, I want them to succeed. Fuck, I want Mixed Nuts to succeed. Shout out Mixed Nuts. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, that guy.
I love seeing I love seeing everyone just do good, you know, because what everyone's kind of fallen into is creating a non-competitive market where we can all do something great. And I love that. It doesn't have to be cutthroat like you said. And that's what this group's showing, you know.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we like I understand that our communities intersect a lot, and that's something that me and Dump have figured out, and that's part of the reason why we went from streaming. We started this with Baldur's Gate. We went from streaming Baldur's Gate at the same time to alternating. Well, we were supposed to alternate, but I ended up doing all the Baldur's Gate streams. But that's why we alternate eco. Like I stream it one night a
Mhm.
week and we play together, and he streams it a night a week and we play together.
Yeah.
That way we're both benefiting from our streams. We're both getting the
Mhm.
views. But we're also not splitting our communities, and we're not having to make people choose whether they want to watch my stream or Dump stream.
Right.
But we're also using Twitch stream together, so all of his people and all of his followers are getting
Get
notified
the
when he goes live
notification.
on my stream, and vice
That's
versa
so
when I go
cool.
live on his stream. And
Yeah.
it's helped a lot.
I'm
We've
glad
seen good
I'm
numbers
glad
with
that
that.
works in the way that that it was advertised to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's doing what it's supposed to do, which is really nice to see again from afar, seeing that work out the way it is. It gives me like a, oh man, I'm glad that works. And again, dude, just round of applause. Everyone's fucking awesome.
We're all
Everyone
trying, that's
really
for
is
sure.
fucking awesome. You guys are so sick. And I'm so grateful that I am friends with you guys and kind of loosely a part of what's going on. Again, now that I'm home full time and I got a little now that we're a little more stable financially, I'm excited to continue to grow with you all.
Well, I'm
Is
excited
kind
to
of
see
what
what you
that is.
got coming down the pike, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
No,
why I asked y'all
there's gonna be a
constantly,
big
like,
year.
what do y'all got going? What do y'all have?
Mhm.
Like, what are we
Yeah.
promoting? Because I'm just as excited to see what y'all have coming as I am for what like the things I want to try.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll let you go here, man. Dude, you can clip the hell out of this whole conversation.
Oh, I look, I love you guys, and don't take this as me saying that I don't have fun playing any different games we play with you guys, but I also straight up mine you guys for content too.
Oh, 100%. And that's okay because we're all mining each other for content.
I appreciate that, mixed nuts, and I mean, dude, if I could play Project Zomboid like you play, I would do it all the time too. It's a great game. I love it. I enjoy playing it, but it's not my cup of tea to play on
Mhm.
stream all the time. But I also love that I love when people find their niche and find their game
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
play like that. It's great.
Mhm. No, and Mixnuts does such a great job. One thing real quick before I hop off because like food's here, so I gotta get going. Um, but one thing I like about Mixnuts streams is that he is constantly like he's doing his own thing. One, he's got like an interesting premise that he's trying to do, like, oh yeah, I'm surviving in Louisville. I started here with absolutely in my underwear with a laceration on my throat. You know what I mean?
I've already
But
been bit by a zombie. I'm trying to find a
yeah,
cure.
yeah, I started in my underwear and I'm already bit by a zombie. Oh, I'm going to the mall, by the way. You know, so right off the bat, it's like, oh man, this is an interesting game, right? And then on top of that, he always takes time to look at his chat and say like, oh hey, who's in here? You're talking to me? Let's have a fucking conversation.
Yep.
I ask him so many stupid questions. Hey, how do you farm? And he goes, okay, well, I'll show you how to farm. Here we go. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. And he fucking gives me a full ass tutorial that you'd see on YouTube about like, oh, well, this is how you do it. Now you got to make sure you do this and don't fall off the fucking roof like an idiot. I'm like, oh shit, I would have fell off that damn roof. You know what I mean? So yeah, the conversations is the best part of streaming. That's it, man.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's definitely. I mean, it's a great. This year coming up is going to be a good year for sure.
Yeah, I I know people are saying that it's not going to be and blah blah blah, but at the
No,
I
well, they're fucking stupid.
I know that there's a lot of crap that's happened in the last couple of years in the world, and there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now, but we
Mhm.
also have a lot of stuff we can look forward to and work on, and
Yep.
even if that's just like us trying to better ourselves as people. Like I can't work on you and you can't work on me, but I can help you work on you and you can help me work on me.
Mhm.
And I mean, in my mind and in my opinion, like that's the only way we're gonna take all this crap that's been happening and like push it behind us and get past it and get away from it. Is
It's what you make it.
if we start helping each other better each other. Like I can't do I can't do anything about all these major events in the world. All I can do is like try to work on myself and try to make me a better person and make, my little part of the world a little bit better.
Yeah, no, 100%. W mix month, mix nuts on the 12 months, dude. Fucking
We
W.
were talking about this just a couple weeks ago because
We're never gonna get off.
no, he mixed. I was. It's crazy that he just said that because we were talking about this in an Alan Wake stream a few weeks ago. Because the last session I had of In Sound Mind, I played for like 8 hours to finish that game, and Mix
Yeah,
Nuts
just
came
to
in
get it done.
clutch, hanging out with me like basically the
Nice.
entire time. And
Oh
yeah, that
yeah,
was a big
man.
thing. He was just talking about how like that helped him get through part of that stuff of being sober and everything was
Yeah.
streams like that, and it's like
Wow.
that's part of the reason why I keep doing this, man, and just the
Yeah,
community that we
it's things
need.
like that. Yeah.
It's just great.
Wow.
But I'll let you go for food.
Yeah,
I'm
we
actually
got
gonna get
Chinese
in
food
bed at a
coming.
decent time too because since we don't have
Hey,
the stream with Dump, so
hell yeah,
I
buddy.
didn't say I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna get in bed at a decent time.
Right. Yeah. Get in bed. Yeah.
I gotta scroll. I still gotta do my mandatory scroll through of TikTok for 2 hours. So
Oh, jeez, I can't stand TikTok. Like that. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go on another tangent.
we save that for
Ha-
the
ha-
podcast.
ha-
Save that for the podcast.
Hey, listen. Let's fucking do it. We'll
Well,
get you on, and we'll just do some shit like this. We'll just hang out.
dude,
Well, hang. I gotta find
anytime.
a way to. I gotta find a way to get like YouTube videos on the podcast. I'm sure it's super easy, and I probably already know how to do it. I just need to like actually do it and kind of get the process down. But yeah, we can sit here, watch some YouTube videos, do some reactions, and just shoot the shit for a while.
Sign
Nothing
me
too
up. Down
controversial
for it.
because I don't want to pull people into the bullshit I'm looking to get into.
Yeah, you can't
But
get into controversy until you have like 20,000 people watching you. And
right,
then
we're
that's when you can kind of start dodging the controversy if you do it right. So
yeah.
that's
Oh, so maybe I should hold off on on my religion project then. No, I think that's gonna be a fun one. But you have a fantastic night, man. Always a pleasure talking with you, buddy. Mix
absolutely.
nuts. You're a fucking rock star. Oh yeah, sorry, a little shameless plug here. Yeah, I did a I guess a series on talking to military service members, and that was fun, and I'll probably still do more of that. But the next kind of project I'm doing next is I want to go through and talk to a bunch of religious figures and different religions, whether it's different versions of Christianity, Jehovah Witnesses, Muslims, Hinduism, and explore these religious ideas and kind of learn about them. But the one thing I need to do before I do that, so I feel like I can do it correctly and respectfully, is to understand the counter arguments against religion as a whole and these ideas, and try to understand like why, to understand religion in itself, you have to understand why people are against it, so you get actually both sides of the idea. I'm kind of going through my own religious journey at the moment, so I think it'd be interesting to bring other people along and stream it and talk about it in an open forum kind of way. So I got some people lined up. I just need to find an atheist who is articulate and not really someone who's like aggressive, you know what I mean? I want someone to actually like sit down and have a conversation and explain kind of why they have the ideas that they have. So yeah, that's in the next coming year, that's going to be a large part of my podcast content. So tune in, Mixed. Yes, respectful is, I mean, that is the big thing that I want to make sure I have with this next journey that I'm going on as far as the podcast content. So that's 100% upfront in my mind, and I want people to let me know if I'm not doing it respectfully. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going on to there. But that is it. That's all for me. I'm
Yeah,
going to eat Chinese food.
I'm excited for what we have coming in the new year, and like I
Yes.
said,
Oh, it's going to be such a good year.
let's just. I know this community already does this, but I'm going to say it again. Let's support each other. Let's help better each other, and just like not force each other, to do things, but like let's hold each other accountable in a way, like
Accountability is so huge.
accountability,
Yes.
but with encouragement, not
Yeah. Yeah.
like not, oh, you're doing it wrong or you're doing a bad thing, like no,
Yeah.
like dude,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, like I know you have this in you, I know it's something you want to do, I know you can do better, like how can I help you, like let's
Yes.
hold each other accountable that way, and
No,
better
and I
ourselves in
think
the new
that
year.
this big group chat that we have on Discord, or this big Discord server, is absolutely going to be vital in that.
Now just to
Yes.
actually do it rather than talk about it all the time. Exactly.
Ooh, thank you, Mixed Nuts, for calling me out.
Looks at all the TikTok videos that I haven't posted yet, that I've edited and everything. They're just sitting there.
Hey, well, there's always an excuse, right?
Yep. My excuse
There's
today
always an
was that I
excuse.
lost my headphones, so I couldn't do it in the truck. So
Oh
now I got new ones,
no.
so I have to do it tomorrow. So,
Hey, there we go.
but yeah, I'll let
Awesome.
you go. You get food, and thanks for hanging out for a bit, Mixed Nuts, and chatting with us. It's always appreciated,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
It's always a pleasure
W
to have you in
nuts.
chat. Uh, yeah, I think that's all for me, and I will see you guys in another dimension.